Go ahead, Danny boy.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, whoever. Episode 98, I'm tired. Paul's tired. We were up in the desert rehearsing and recording latest track from Delirium Shroud. It actually turned out pretty well. Yeah, that's my favorite Delirium Shroud song so far. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably the best one.
What did that remind you of? Sabbath or Metal? I said Metal Lucifer, just the way that that drum beat kind of goes over the super classic 80s fucking whatever you want to call that. Just a classic metal riff, I guess.
Really aggressive, and then it has really weirdly structured riffs. Like, his one count riff is like fucking the amount of times it would take to play one riff 4 times.
Yeah, and then there's like 3 parts within it.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and jamming it on the spot and getting it out and recorded is cool.
We've never had to drive home from Joe's and then do the podcast. And God, it was fucking headache city on the way back. I don't know why. A full day always gives me a fucking headache. I'm like, oh man, I'm having fucking hunger pains.
Yeah. Yeah, I was having a headache on the way back.
It's the power of metal.
It's too much.
Yeah, too much metal. Too much metal in our daily lives.
Metal overdose.
Yeah, it's like metal in the morning, metal at night right now.
Slop in the evening, slop in the supper time. Slop till you drop.
Slop for breakfast, slop for dinner. Oh, what was that? Trag's Trough?
Yes, it was. Tim and Eric.
Yeah.
Slop in the evening, slop at supper time. I forget who that guy was. He's been in a bunch of movies as like a principal or something. I'm not even sure.
Hey,
he's that kind of guy that's like your average like 40-year-old inoffensive kind of guy. Not 40, like 50, but whatever. Yeah, no, Trag's Trough, good stuff.
Hey,
not a Cinco product.
Trag's Trough. I want to see who. No. Who is this guy? I want to know who this guy is. I looked him up. I found the Tim and Eric wiki, but Fred Willard is his name.
Speaking of Fred, this doesn't sound like Fred. That was our third mic.
Right, I forgot. Yeah, who is this on third mic?
No, it's Frank.
Yeah, this is Frank.
No, this is HyperShaman.
Not Shaman.
I mean, it's whatever the speaker prefers.
Black metal guy can pronounce it however he likes.
Yeah, that's true. He's the master.
He's very invested in the idea of shamanism and shaman adjacent interests. So however he wants to pronounce it, I'm fine with.
Me too, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. So HyperShaman, you thought Fred's name was Frank for 1 second. After responding to a story on Instagram, I had posted it was a kid with Down syndrome eating a hot dog, or he was about to eat a hot dog. I think it said something POV. It's a bad day to be a hot dog.
Yeah, he was really excited to dig into that dog.
And you replied. You said Frank ?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Frank? I don't know what the hell. Or you said, is that Frank?
Yeah.
Like, Frank.
Yeah, I was like, is this a video of Frank? And then, you just responded back, Frank ? And I went, crap,
I didn't know what
that's
the hell
right.
you were talking about.
His name is Fred. I was trying to make a joke about Fred. That's cruel. I haven't even met the man and poking fun at him.
Bad day to be a Frank.
Yeah. And then inadvertently made it also a joke about hot dogs.
Fitting with the Bun Bun boys.
Bun length.
But yeah.
Damn it, I was gonna say something. I keep losing my train of thought. Fucking what's his name? Bestial Conclave was right. I do have dementia.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was gonna mention.
The desert's taking your soul, man.
Oh shit.
The metal.
That's what I was going to mention. I was going to mention Bestial Conclave. I loved his timestamps for the Lust Ouroboros episode. That was pretty great. He referred to Fred as Fat Cock Fred, and he referred to me and Paul as Mexican Pussy Boys. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So thank you, Bestial Conclave, for actually being funny. I appreciate that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a dedicated listener there. Perhaps the first.
Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, Hypershaman.
Excuse me if I'm totally fucking out of it. I'm tired, and I'm drinking now, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Paul do the talking.
Hey, that
you
helps.
guys, and I'll chime in and do my thing.
No, I was gonna
I mean, it's Sunday night, whatever.
I was actually gonna offer for Dan to do that exact same thing while I drink this beer.
I think we're both kind of like, well, whatever. We're both here and we're both in front of a mic, so just fucking talk. How about that? Don't just sit there like an asshole.
Yeah, just wing it. Yeah.
Does this ever happen on Terminus? Do they ever call each other assholes or like?
Yeah, we want
seem to have their shit together, both of them.
We want to hear the black metal guy aggro.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I was wondering what the black metal guy is like if like you started to like antagonize him or something. Dude, fuck you. What the fuck? I imagine it would be funny.
Here, one second. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I don't think I've necessarily heard him like angry. I don't think I've ever run into either of them necessarily being being antagonized or antagonizing others. I don't know. They're pretty gregarious fellows.
Yeah, I've heard albums make them angry, but that's about it.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's the lifestyle. That's the path we've chosen to walk on.
Yeah.
As metal lords, as it were.
Yes, tip your wine glasses, metal lords.
Yeah.
Speaking of our Termy boys, how do you get in the mix to intern with them?
Oh yeah, the intern. I think that's just the term we chose for lack of a better word. I don't know.
It's good.
I think of it like being a mafia associate. Like I'm not a made man. I didn't have Sicilian blood or something, so I can't be a made man. But I'm like some Irish guy that's in, even though
you'll get your hands dirty.
Yeah, like I paint houses. Yeah, back in like 2021 or 2, probably 1. I don't remember how I happened upon the show, but I started listening to it and I joined the Discord and everything, and I don't know, just kind of clicked, talking, being able to talk about music and art in similar ways, and I think we just got along real well in that regard. And I think what I did was I started throwing together some big chart. I thought it would be fun. I always liked making like album charts and lists. I made some big chart of a bunch of albums that they would be brought up on the show regularly, and I called it like Terminus Hood Classics or something. They were like, "Wow, that's actually kind of cool. We might use that to pick old albums to talk about and stuff for bonus shows." Not that that's all changed over time, but
now I get epic Peggle videos. I like the Peggle video, I have to say.
Yeah, we all get pegged, is what we get.
Oh, very nice. Is that
really? Yeah, that's part of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, get ready.
Okay.
Yeah, we get video games and books now too. Wow.
Yeah, the book one was very interesting. I didn't know what to expect about that. People of this show know I don't read and I don't know how to read.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is part of trying to get Terminus listeners to start like learning how to read. Maybe get a little more culture.
That last installment of the book series. Well, I guess it's the first installment for Terminus.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I've never heard of what was his name, Peter Sotos. Never heard of the guy.
Oh yeah, that's God, back when I was in like high school and going all over the internet, being like, oh, I'm just gonna listen to like all the weirdest stuff I can find. I had I remember that was like my first really like, oh, what the fuck moment with a recording was listening to Buyer's Market, which is it's basically an album he released that's not really music. It's just like recordings of interviews with and discussions about like victims of sex crimes. And it was always super infamous online, people being like, oh god, this is like the creepiest, scariest thing in the world. And it's part of what he was talking about, where like people's evaluation of the man precede anything about his work, and that people think of him more as the White House guy than a writer. But yeah, he's a very interesting individual. And I know the death metal guy had been waiting probably for a long time to really dig in and talk about that in depth. He had kind of poked at the idea here and there before, putting some like doing some Goodreads reviews, but I think he does some really good writings, but I think it does come off really well as sort of reading from a script in a one-man podcast format also.
Oh, yeah. And I was telling him, I was like, oh, with your Substack, when's the audiobook coming out? He has the voice for it.
No, yeah. And I think, some of that stuff, I mean, God, you could read out loud and basically just make the vocals for a power electronics album right there.
Yeah. Yeah, like you did with the Power Electronics video. He had like that playing over while he was stalking.
Yeah, cool. It's some of that background noise, like deliberate background noise. No, it's very cool. I'm excited to see what more comes out of it.
Yeah, I want to see black metal guys input. He has that stenchcore deep dive to get to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he would probably want to like do more about like that crust stench stuff, D-beat stuff maybe. I think it would be cool to, and I'm sure he probably like has this on his radar. I assume, I mean, not to just assume, but I don't see why it wouldn't be, because it's partially the namesake of the podcast itself, but like for books, talking about Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe. It's the series, because I know partially the namesake of the show is from the sword in the book Terminus Est. It's like an executioner's sword with Terminus Est meaning like, to say, it's like the Latin phrase denoting the end or the boundary of something, the dividing line. So that would be a cool book to discuss. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're coming up with multitudes of things they could do little like different side shows about when they're not talking about metal.
Yeah, Terminus Extreme Podcast.
I had thought
just Terminus Extreme.
Terminus
X. I thought Terminus was the name of the place in the Zelda Majora's Mask. Termina is the name of the Zelda.
Oh,
realm.
Yeah, the like little town there.
Yeah, the one with the scary moon coming down.
I never got to play either of the N64 Zelda games, because my neighbor had a Nintendo 64, but he wouldn't let me start a save file on his game, so I would just like go over and watch him. Fucker.
Yeah, I don't know how much how sad that is for a kid to just kind of go over and watch somebody play video games.
It wasn't
But
actually like
as an adult, I feel like I really enjoy that now, or at least in the past 10 years. I'm like, you know what? I'll just sit down, have a beer, and my buddy will play a video game, and I'll give my input.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I mean nowadays it's like I might be like clicking around the internet or like reading something or playing my own game or something, and then maybe my buddy's like doing some shit on the big screen. I can, you know, make my jeers and comments at him. Back in the day, it was like sometimes it was fun. Like, I don't know, I thought Kingdom Hearts 2 was really cool, but you know, I never played it because my buddy had the PS2. I don't know. I didn't get the Nintendo 64 because my parents were like, "You already have a Nintendo," because I had a Game Boy. They didn't know that was a completely different thing. I was like, "I want a Nintendo 64." Well, Grandma already got you a Nintendo.
That's not the same thing, gosh.
It's not. It's a Game Boy. It's different.
They just released Wario Land 4 on the Switch. See, now you can really immerse yourself.
Wow. That's the what was the Game Boy Advance one?
Yeah, 2001.
Oh wow, nice. No, that's a cool game.
Yeah, so I almost sounded like the black metal guy there. Yeah. So yeah, so what would your specialty be, man? Are you in a band, or are you just a listener, or what's going on there?
I mean, I'm not musical. I'm not in any bands. I don't like socialize. I don't meet new people. Kind of on purpose. But yeah, I know a decent amount about the field of recording. Technically, I have like a quote unquote college degree in recording, whatever that's worth. I don't do that. I'm a teacher. I don't use my degree my degree. But like I can play instruments, but I mostly just listen. I guess I could be considered a art enjoyer. I don't know. That sounds stupid and pretentious, but I don't know. I'm a consumer, dude.
A bug man.
Yeah, I'm a bug man consumer. I take in my slop. But no, I would like to think of myself as like an enthusiast. To me music and like the structure of music and the relationship between the sounds of different bands and different genres is like almost a hobby to me. It's fascinating. I've considered I've started recently thinking about how I ought to write down thoughts that I have and maybe like have a blog or something, but been really fucking busy, so I haven't done anything like that.
Yeah, so
but
what genres or bands or anything like that would you say are like in your like immediate interest, or just kind of your specialty?
Man, I think it was either during or like after the Terminus Omega, or maybe it was before. I don't remember. I was talking to the guys, and they were saying like, is there like any specific kind of stuff that you don't listen to? And I was thinking about it, like out of kind of like the scope of the show. There's not really anything that I don't listen to a lot. Like I like black metal, death metal, of course. I'm really into Goregrind, brutal death metal. I like both melodic like more like melodically complicated black metal, and I also like more the like primitive, stupid stuff. I like the pagan stuff. I like the blasphemous, satanic stuff. I guess I don't do thrash that much. Not like plain thrash. I do plenty of like thrash mixed with other genres, but I used to be a lot more into thrash metal like in my early 20s, but I just it's not something I really listen to that much. But I mean, I do all sorts of power metal, Euro power, US power, doom metal, death doom, funeral doom. I don't know. I listen to all sorts. I guess outside of extreme metal, I'm really into like the industrial, post-industrial, neo-folk stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a particular specialty. I think I'm just kind of I'll listen to anything I think sounds cool.
So, any bands, sort of immediately that you've been interested into? Uh, Anything coming to mind there? Because I'm just curious to what kind of stuff you're listening to on the daily, or what you're actually usually into.
We're trying to figure you out, Shaman.
Yeah, we're trying to get in your head.
Yeah, I mean, like on a, I'd say daily, like day to day, year to year, whatever, my most often listened to music would probably be more towards like black metal and then industrial neo folk stuff.
Oh, I thought your day list on Spotify would be like, oh, epic, cloudy, blue sky, power metal, or something.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's actually I'm So I've been having I've had a Last FM since I was in high school. And
what the hell is Last FM? I've heard a few people bring that up. I don't even know what it is.
Don't squabble, bro.
Yeah, it's for scrabbling your plays, my man.
It's for what?
You scrabble.
So
no, it's
like Scrabble.
It's I don't know if they came up with the word, but it's associated with it. It's basically just like logging plays, so you can link like whatever media player on your phone or computer or whatever to your account, and it just logs what you listen to. And I used to be like more into all of that with, like here's my what I've my most listened to for the past week or whatever, like talking to people online about it when I was younger, like high school. But I've just kept it going because I think it's kind of neat just to see what my listening habits end up looking like, month to month. But I guess, well, let's see what I've been listening to lately. We'll look at artists.
All right, here we go.
Last 7 days. Well, the Lord Weird Slough Feg, which we'll get, or Slough Feg, we'll get to. Dillinger 4. Apparently I've been listening to. That's interesting. Bill Skirnier, Leatherface, Spite Extreme Wing.
What is Dillinger 4?
It's I don't know, it's punk, I guess. I think it's kind of like melodic, like Jawbreaker, kind of. Or yeah, I don't know. Jawbreaker's the immediate, similar thing that comes to mind.
Paul, you know Jawbreaker?
Yeah.
The name sounds familiar. I can't think of.
They're not. They're like pretty like mid-tier popular. Not like a big band, but a bigger name in like alt rock, punk rock, 90s stuff. They're from like your guys' neck of the woods.
Okay, they sound like some of the earliest versions of like pop punk or something.
Yeah, that's.
I'm just getting that from
wrong.
my second skim of the song Boxcar.
Yeah, I'd say that's not wrong. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'd say I probably listen to more black metal than death metal day to day, but I do listen to a lot of death metal and Goregrind, and I'd say that would be like my next biggest like area of metal would be like brutal death and Goregrind.
You're like the what's it called? Middle point between black and death metal guy.
Maybe I am. Maybe that's what I am.
Yeah,
I'm the
Goregrind
balancing force.
He's the Goregrind gangster.
The gore gang. I'm the Goregrind guy. I'm the perverted serial killer.
Dr. Shaman.
Dr. Shaman.
So the type of Goregrind you're into, is that stuff that's more leaning towards straight up carcass, or stuff that's sort of outside of that the carcass worship sound? Because it feels like everybody kind of lumps Goregrind into, oh, it's a carcass worship band, but I feel like there's a number of them that are kind of that have like kind of escaped that. Maybe the other side of that pantheon is like Impetigo, or maybe not worship, but it's like coming from Impetigo or something.
I'd say there's a lot of stuff that definitely isn't like immediately carcass. Like I don't know, like to me Dead Infection isn't super carcass.
Really? I feel like that one is super carcass.
I don't know, maybe that's just me. I mean, I like carcass well enough. Maybe it's weird that like they're not my most favorite thing. I understand they're important, I suppose, or influential, foundational, but I don't really listen to carcass that much. I like maybe funny enough, I like a lot of stuff from that. I think they're like Japanese and Russian. Like some of the dudes are from Russia, one of the dudes from Japan or something. But the band Pharmacist, which is I think more explicitly supposed to sound like carcass. I think that band's really cool, and I probably listen to them more than I listen to actual carcass.
I don't think Dead Infection was trying to be a carcass worship thing. I mean,
No.
I think the big thing that set them apart was like they had a whole bunch of like crust punk riffs in them.
Yeah, I think what it is to me the stuff that's on the carcass side is a little more explicitly death metal-y. Like, so think maybe not like the first Carcass album, but the second, third Goregrind that kind of sounds a little more like that, versus Goregrind that sounds like dudes mashing and banging on things to a drum machine, which I think, the latter I also think is really, really cool. I love that stuff. But like Symphonies of Sickness and Necroticism kind of there's a lot of bands that follow in that direction more, with a little more of complex melodicisms, kind of that I don't know how I want to describe the quality of it. It's like a little
I feel like what you just described, it kind of sounds like Impaled to me. What you just described.
Yeah, I think Impaled kind of comes more closely to Carcass than a lot of Goregrind bands. That's that it's got like the green cover, and it's got let me take a look here. Okay, yeah. No. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, for sure. Mondo Medicale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool band.
Someone would say classic.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Although I suppose are they kind of like Exhumed?
I think it's same members from there, like Raw Sewage was in both bands.
They're pretty similar to Exhumed. I think Exhumed is just kind of Impaled without the melodic parts for the most part.
Yeah. I'm not huge on Exhumed. I guess it's been a while since I've listened to Exhumed. I don't dislike
I hardly ever
them.
come back to them.
I think it's just I'm apathetic towards Exhumed.
What about something like Splatterhouse? Is that you into that band at all? Did we all disappear? What happened?
Oh, no. I think I might have lost you guys for like 1 second, but
okay.
You're back. I actually don't know. The name and the album cover there are familiar, but I can't say I remember listening to that.
Yeah, I think that was kind of it's It's Goregrind in this more like thrashing kind of style. I think Razorback Records are the guys that are the ones who sort of put out that as a specialty, the like thrashing Goregrind. So what do you have, like Splatterhouse and Frightmere and maybe Lord Gore
and Gorge.
And then maybe
okay.
Engorge. Who was that other one? Who the fuck else was there? What the fuck was that band called, Paul, with the fucking 80s movie monsters on it?
Oh, Horrific.
Gruesome Stuff Relish. Yeah, all that kind of shit. Like the tongue-in-cheek kind of like comic booky Goregrind, I guess.
Yeah. I think a lot of the stuff I end up listening to is, I think, more like a lot of Euro stuff, a lot of Czech stuff. So, I mean, I like Dead Infection, Poland. I like Squash Bowels, Regurgitate.
You like that nasty shit.
Yeah, like the maybe the kind of the nastier. I like, of course, Catasexual Urge Motivation.
Mm-hmm.
G-Guy. Right, they're like
the anime Goregrind.
Yeah, are they Czech? I think.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Cock and Ball Torture.
I'm curious to what Squash Bowels album or any release that you would recommend, because I've known them for a long time and I have listened to them in the past, but it's been such a long time. I might have heard, like, what is that one EP called? Something Nice. I think that was something that I heard.
Let me take a look.
It is the quintessential Squash Bowels.
Quintessential. I don't know if I can speak. You know, I don't mean to present myself as an expert in anything, but I think
not as an expert, just as a guy who likes the band, who could recommend a dude something.
Like No Mercy, I think, is a good place. No Mercy and the Mass Rotting, the Mass Sickness. So like 2002, 2004 area, the early 2000s.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, are you seeing this album cover, No Mercy, Squash Bowels?
Mm-mm.
That's what Fred would call a bad case of the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
See, and
no moisture.
Like, I know that's objectively pretty not nice looking, but I got a soft spot for that stuff. It tickles my brain. It's like, yes, that's the good stuff right there. That early 2000s image editing, almost like bizarre, overly affected collage.
Yeah, it's like when Bensinski, what was it called? Found out what a computer was, and he started doing his art there. Stick to the brush, my friend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I hate this art style, but it's just a way to describe it, I guess.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's basically you're either going to run into stuff like that or just pictures of actual, like, gore or surgery. So, take your pick.
Say, have you ever heard of a very good Goregrind band from Mexico? They're called Obsceno. You ever heard of that?
Obsceno. I don't think I have. No. Let me take a looky-loo here.
Yeah, it's obscene, but without the E and an O instead. Obsceno.
Oh, the ones that did the split.
The ones that did the split with Throbbavoful. Mm-hmm.
Shit, that's you and me, Dan, right there. The band pick.
Let me see. Who? Oh, yeah, that's us. The Mexican Pussy Boys, that's right.
That could be Fred right there with the glasses. Fredwardo.
Fredwardo, yeah, there you go. Fat cock Fredwardo.
No, I'll have to give that a listen. Nice.
Take a look at the 2003 Split album art.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one.
Well, when you said real pictures of gore, that immediately popped into my head. That's not gore. It is kind of.
I mean,
it is shocking though.
It feels like it on a spiritual level. Like that's kind of in the same category as seeing like a human skull split open.
The real gore is her bone structure.
Yeah, like the literal like crumbling, just compressed
dust bones.
Slow gore.
Yeah, ugh. Yeah,
was that a King of the Hill thing too? Dusty green bones full of, or what is it? Dusty old bones.
yeah. It was they got they got like a new neighbor, and the neighbor kid was like harassing and bullying Hank.
He bullies Hank, and
like,
then Bobby goes,
yeah, he was like,
crackle, pop, pops.
Yeah, and he's like throwing little poppers at him. Yeah, but he was like tearing up Hank's lawn with his bike. Like Hank had just mowed the lawn, and the kid's like riding all over it, going, "Dusty old bones full of green dust. Dusty old bones."
Hank goes, "Dusty old bones?"
He's just like he's not really insulted. He's just baffled.
He's confused. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Is that Goregrind thing here?
Was that the same episode? Was that the family that were like the Canadians?
I don't.
Or am I mixing up my episodes?
I don't remember a family of Canadians.
There was one where like some Canadians move like down the block or across the street, and there's like a lot of tension. some culture clash. But no, I think that's a different episode now.
I remember where Hank finds out he was born in New York.
Yeah, it's like he has this identity crisis. He's like, oh, he's not from Texas.
And then Hank finds out he has a half Japanese brother.
Yes, yeah.
Which kind of didn't make any sense.
The two-parter episode.
It didn't make any sense because, like, Hank looks like his mom, and Bobby looks like the grandpa, which makes sense. But then the brother, the Japanese brother, looked like Hank. Wouldn't he look like Bobby?
Yeah, like you would.
Why
think
would he look
you
like
would
the
have
mother?
this,
It doesn't make any sense.
This like short, chubby little Japanese guy, not just Hank with like a bad haircut.
It doesn't make any sense because Hank looked like Tilly.
Mm-hmm.
And so what? See, I found a loophole in King of the Hill lore.
Yeah,
not a loophole, but a flaw. This doesn't work here. He should have looked like Cotton or Bobby.
Yeah. He should have been like a chubby boy.
Mm-hmm.
A little stocky guy. I mean, I know Cotton's got a particular reason for his anatomy, but with his shins, he would probably still be kind of small and stocky.
Our own Benedict Arlen.
No, I love and you really learn to love Cotton and Bobby's relationship. It's like the only person in the world Cotton's nice to.
Sacrificed himself for Bobby when he burned down the church.
Because he
ate all the lutefisk, and then he took a smelly shit, and then he burned down the church with a match.
Yeah.
He goes, "It was the man with the terrible smell."
I remember there was some episode they have like nicknames for each other. They were calling each other like Bing Bing and Ging Ging or something. Yeah. He's like, "All right, Bing Bing."
When fucking it shows a flashback of Hank, he's like watching like a bull fuck a cow, and his dad asks him, he's like, "What do you think of that?" He goes, "I want my binky back." "You want your binky back?"
"I want my binky back." I love that. I think that's like one of the first flashbacks because he just looks like Hank's head on a child's body, and then like in later seasons they make him look more like appropriately like a child in flashbacks. But yeah, it's like, "I want my binky back."
I want my binky back. There was a later episode, but like I was still a kid when it came out. I remember being on vacation with my family, and I was in my grandparents' motorhome, and they had that on, and it was the one where like Bobby was supposed to kill a panda with some kids or something, and then he has a dream that he's a panda and he's on Jeopardy or something. And I forget what the answer was, and Bobby goes, "My mother-in-law," and he starts laughing like a panda, and he's like eating fucking bamboo.
Yeah, it was like some they had, was it like they were gonna be going to the zoo or something, and they thought it would be like really cool if they like ganged up and like killed the panda there.
Yeah, killed the panda.
Oh, what was?
Psychopathic thinking.
Oh my god, what? I'm trying to remember. Oh, he had a vision quest. I think that's the episode. Yeah, they were gonna drug the Sorry, they weren't gonna kill the pandas. They were gonna drug some pandas at the county zoo and paint their names on the animals as like a cool thing to do. And that's the episode where Dale thinks he's Native American. Like Dale, like
Dale thinking that.
So yeah, so like John Redcorn like wants to take Joseph out into the woods to have him like have a vision quest as like a coming of age thing. So then Dale's like, "Oh, you guys are gonna like go out camping? I'll come with." And then Dale ends up being the one having a vision quest, so he starts thinking he's Native American, and he like dresses up and like, yeah. But then Bobby has a vision quest, and that involves
about
the
panda.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there was another early one that I remember seeing. It was, I think Dale thought he had rabies or something, and he's out in the woods, like, in a fucking loincloth or something. And he like traps Hank in a fucking thing, and he's like, "Leave me alone, Hank, you'll end up like he did." And he like points to a frog impaled on a stick.
No, yeah, that was, no, I remember that one.
I remember what I was going to ask you. I was going to continue on to this Goregrind stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Something that was interesting to me that I found recently, a band called Putrefaction from Chicago. They had a demo in '96 called Rotted Vagina Grind. You ever hear that?
Nice.
Or did you ever heard of that?
I mean, I may have the there's so many bands and albums that use the word putrefaction. It's hard to keep track.
Right.
Of
It's
Let's see.
It has members from Deaden, is what it is.
Oh.
Like before, it's the guys from Deaden before their full length is what it is.
No, I mean that makes sense. Yeah, Chicago. Okay, interesting. No, I'll have to give that. I haven't heard of this one before. I'll have to give that a listen.
You see that album art?
I do see that album art. Once again, not gore, not as shocking as the other one, but still unexpected.
Track 1, Homo Anal Wreckage.
It's followed by Crucifixion of a Slut.
Yeah.
Ejaculate with shit. Wow, sounds painful.
It's worse than blood.
Yeah, I think the thing that's like interesting about these bands to me is like how early like the kind of Porno-grind thing comes into play.
Yeah.
Like when does Porno-grind start? It's like, this is from '96. That seems like pretty fucking early to be doing all this like I guess you would call it comedy shit, but it's like totally fucking disgusting.
Well, like comedy. Gut was like from like '92 or something.
92 or 3, right?
I think it was just the pipeline of like, okay, we're using like medical terminology because it feels really like all this intense medical terminology because it feels really like dehumanizing and alienating. I mean, what else can be dehumanizing with like treating a human body like an object? Oh, pornography.
Yeah, gross sex stuff.
I think it was a very easy like slope to fall down.
Yeah. I think even the band Inferia from Finland, they were starting off as like death metal band, then they went into like Porno-grind afterward, and I think it may just have been, like you said, more objectifying like humans in that way, but he was also just a horny guy apparently.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I'm in the '90s, I'm sure many death metal musicians were just like pretty like horny guys. That's just part of the territory. But yeah, I think it's just natural that when you get into this music about like all of these abject topics and kind of turning the human body into this just like mechanical list of parts rather than a living thing with a soul, weird sex stuff will follow.
And I think we were talking about...
You will molest the decapitated.
I think we were talking about at practice, or like how like all like Porno-grind and stuff isn't like there's no big shit about it, but like NSBM is like some other like cancelable thing or something, but then you have like cemetery rapists being like their shows shut down in the same effect. So it's like it's a weird gray area.
Like who where. Okay, liberals, riddle me this. Why isn't anyone talking about lesbian tripping squirt?
Yeah, who wears that?
I mean, like we're letting Larry Wang get away with this blatant misogyny. Well, actually, no. He loves his wife. He's not a misogynist. I can't make a joke about Larry like that. He's a good man. Oh my god, I love reading through all these song titles from his works, like just student girl live mass squirting. I'll help you have the best masturbation. Poet.
Enos chainsaw
anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
good ideas.
Oh, he does Fat Tub of Lard. I thought he was the Brutal Mind guy.
Oh no! Well, I mean, they're
they're brothers and sisters, yeah.
Heavily affiliated, but yeah, no, he's the Fat Tub of Lard guy.
Yeah, I love watching their reels and shit. It's like they'll have like some like fucked up gore or something, and then it'll just like turn into the shirt promo.
Yeah, and then he'll just have some comment. Or like his caption will just be like big love to you, boss. He.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like he'll post some picture of some like Taiwanese Instagram girl wearing like a Fat Tub of Lard band's shirt, and he'll just say like, wow, boss is rocking the shirt hard. He just calling everyone boss.
Yeah.
Great guy. I think his day job too is he sells like tattoo equipment.
Yeah, he looks blessed. So.
Something I just thought of when we were talking about gut and fucking putrefaction and porno-grind and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think something that I like. I know this isn't this doesn't apply to all metal bands, but I think some of my favorite it's mostly death metal stuff. My favorite types of death metal bands, which is probably most of them, are the types that like say like Cannibal Corpse or something, where their violence is kind of just totally mindless and stupid, but it's like so impersonal that it's like almost inhuman, if that makes sense.
It's like removed from
yeah.
Like it's removed from thought. It's removed from emotion.
Yeah, it's not like you should think one way or another about this stuff. It's just like it's there.
Yeah, it's
and it's like kind of just violent poetry, or I don't know what you would call. It's a really interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting idea, I guess, to be so detached and to just be like kind of retardedly violent in that way. I like it.
Yeah, and it's there's no like moral there's no moral attached to it. Like they're not endorsing or like, they're not endorsing and being like, yeah, like, let's go out and like kill everyone. You know, well, no, maybe they are.
See,
you know, whatever.
When you get to that point, then people can say, oh, what a tryhard. But if you're just kind of impersonal about it, then it's maybe it comes off as a whole different animal. You know what I mean?
But it's also, you know, and there would be a lot of people that would try to frame it this way. I think a lot more like guys who went to college kind of mindsets.
The Zoomer the Zoomer mindset.
That would frame it as like,
boy, we hate our Zoomers on this show.
Yeah, exploring.
Except the ones who called us Mexican pussy boys.
He's honorary millennial.
Yeah, for sure.
He's far beyond his age. He's an old soul.
Yeah, I mean, I guess whatever point I'm trying to make, I think is kind of actually in line with the black metal guys, Soto stuff he was just talking about recently. So maybe that's there's another shill there. Go listen to that on Terminus Extreme Metal Podcast.
Yeah, we're doing tricks on Terminus today.
Yeah. God, millennial. I just turned 30 last week. Now
turned 30.
Just 30.
Last year.
Wow. How's that feel?
So we're going. My body's breaking down. Everything hurts.
I'm waiting for it. I was told it's gonna start with my feet. They don't hurt just yet.
My back.
You know what? No, my knees do hurt here and there. Which, like, why? What am I doing that would make my knees hurt? I can't think of anything that should be making my knees hurt, but they do.
Need to take some collagen.
30 years of gravity.
Yeah, 30 years of sitting on my ass and listening to metal, weighing down on my joints. It's too heavy.
Yeah, just get some screws in there. You'll be real metal now.
Hell yeah. I do it at home in my garage. Something that really turns me off
about... something that like turns me off about certain thrash bands is that they do exactly that. They like try to justify their... Not try to justify, but like their lyrical topics are like, this is bad, guys. War is freaking bad, okay? It's like, nah, man. It should be this like blank... not endorsement, but this either that or this like depersonalized orgy of violence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're like what's it called, like conscious rap, where they're like, oh yeah, all this stuff's bad for you actually.
Yeah. It's the bad, and I guys. Think, oh, thanks for telling me, musical guy.
And I think that's where I think a lot of metal bands kind of lose the plot, is
trying to be too
punk. When you have a metal band that wants to, okay, we're going to present this content, this theme, whatever it is, but then we're also going to make some sort of value judgment or some sort of, like, analysis of the theme. And it's like, no, that, like, we're, like, I'm not here to read, like, literary critique or a textbook or something. Just give me war.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just in my mind where I'm like, kids these days, but I think that's always kind of been a thing, even in the 80s.
No, it has.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's always, and I think, yeah, maybe it does come from more, like, the punk scene where it's like, you have to have a message. There's a message that you need to be pushing.
Yeah, what are these riffs about, man?
Yeah, like, what's my takeaway? Like, what's the takeaway from this? It's like, well, the takeaway is that, like, swords are cool and you should, like, kill with power. That's the takeaway. Hail and kill is the takeaway. Like, do you think Man of War were trying to like, well, okay, no, they were, you know what, they were trying, Man of War had a message, and it was like, I don't know, something about Metal Brotherhood, I don't know. I don't listen to lyrics. I don't read lyrics.
Yeah, we just say along with the tracks.
Yeah. I just go ugh. Or like the black metal. Blech. Give them a blech. There's your lyrics, right? there's your lyrics right there, honey.
Yeah. I don't mean to be, again, so self-referential. I do this all the time, but the way I write lyrics is more like I sit down and words come into my head and they don't mean anything, and that's how I write. I kind of like that idea.
But like, you like the way the words sound together, right?
Yeah,
like there's something
it
like
sounds
it
cool.
sounds cool. I mean, that's like at the end of the day,
cool.
That's like to me that should be the core of even just like poetry or prose. Is it's like if it doesn't sound cool, why are you writing it in an artistic form? Why not just like write an article somewhere if you have some point you want to put forth? Like the point of doing something as song lyrics or poetry or even like creative writing like prose is you're using words that sound cool because it sounds better. Like there's a reason we use more descriptive terms in writing rather than just being extremely literal, because it sounds cooler when you use certain words. You know, that I think that's
when you sort of
so primary.
When you use strange words like that together, it kind of it's up to like interpretation, I guess. And if there can be multiple interpretations of what something means, I feel like that's it just makes it more mysterious, and it kind of just makes it cooler.
It's more interesting. I don't know. It's why do something in a plain way when you could do it in an interesting way, you know?
Yeah. This is gay, but I call I call the way I write dark poetry, which is gay. But that's how I describe it to people. I go dark poetry.
Yeah, you write it with your feathered quill.
You ever is that like a pickup line at the bar? You sit down and be like, "Oh, how you doing?"
Yeah.
So I'm what do I do? Well, I'm a bit of a dark poet.
You just pull up the Metal Archives lyrics and you're like, here you go.
Yeah, usually you pull it up and you hold the screen in her face like these. I wrote these. Can you read these?
Yeah, they're published. Look at this website.
Yeah.
Well, that almost sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, Dark Poet.
Dark Magician?
Yeah, something like that.
The Darkest Poet. Man, I was looking earlier, I guess Jimmy from the Block uploaded a video called Top 10 Black People in Death Metal.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
That's good.
It's like the dude from Entombed and like Terrence and shit.
There's a black guy in Entombed?
There is.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, you look at Entombed pictures, there was a guy with dreads. I think he's still in the band.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, the Entombed never made that a thing. Like, hey, yeah, we got a black on.
I didn't even know they had black people in Sweden back then. So that's liberty right there. That's democracy, right?
I think they had one, because I remember seeing a video of like Candlemass playing in like 87 or 88, and you can actually see a bunch of guys from like the Swedish death metal scene, really young, in the audience, like when they pan out when the camera pans to the audience, and you can see the black guy from Entombed, and you're like, oh, I know that.
Lars or something?
Something like that, yeah.
I think that's LG Petrov as Lars.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Although there's
LG,
probably I mean, they're Swedish. There's very likely there was multiple Lars.
Yeah, there's two Lars in this band.
There's two Lars. Okay.
Oh, there's LG and then there's Lars Rosenberg. Let's see. No.
His name is Alex. Oh, his name is Alex.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Yeah, he's been there.
Real name Lofo Twangaka Kale Alexander Helid. Okay.
Oh, that is his name. That's
Lofo.
An African name. Twangaka? Twangaka. Okay.
Twangaka.
Interesting.
All right, biography's pretty...
I forget that these dudes are old.
The biography's pretty short for a person with a name like that. Just founder of this record label. Where are you from, my guy?
Says he was born in
No,
Sweden.
yeah, I mean,
Stockholm.
But yeah, he's one of the OGs. Like, he was a nihilist and all that. Huh.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Anyways, so who was this guy's #1 black person in metal?
Oh, I didn't watch it. I was just looking at the. I was just skimming through it, but I saw like some photos.
Tier list here.
Yeah. I mean, is it not Mike Smith?
That's probably, yeah.
I did see an Instagram reel where it said, like, it was for Black History Month. It was like top 10 black people of all time, and like it showed fucking what's his name? What's Yakub? It showed Yakub, and then the O.J. Simpson, and then you had fucking what's his name? Caller of the Storms.
Yeah, I don't know Yakub. I don't know. He's a little. I mean, we have to like him. You know, he's kind of. Well, I have to like him. I don't know. I don't know how. Yeah, like, you know, he's kind of like my grandpa, I guess.
Thank you, Yakub.
So when's there gonna be what's it called, the anti-Yakubian black metal band?
Yeah, anti-Yakubian black metal. Yeah, black metal espousing the destruction of all white people, ending the Yakubian menace.
Yeah, it's gonna have a whole
stuff that sort of exists like that. I forget the name of the band, but there's like a Hawaiian nationalist band, and he's like anti-white man.
I know the name, but I can't pronounce it.
Black metal is getting right.
Kukala Lamiku or something. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna try. Let's just find this guy. Man.
He was in some band that I found recently.
Oh, okay. Verify I'm human. What? Kuka Ilimoku. Although it says he's from Seattle.
Like anti-colonialism or something. Yeah, that's the guy. That's him.
And Hawaiian nationalism, history, anti-Christianity. But yeah.
I could have sworn it said anti-colonialism too.
I feel like Hawaiian nationalism implies that enough.
Yeah, well, maybe so. I guess
it's got
black
like a
metal.
Cool,
it seems like black metal now.
It's got a cool back tattoo. Lady dancing. That's cool. Black metal now.
What were you saying, Dan, about black metal now?
Yeah, I think I lost you guys for a second.
Whoa. Paul, I think the fucking audio's fucked up. Paul, when you just said that, you sounded like 10 times sped up.
Oh.
It should be good now.
I think I'm fucking. I think I'm lagging or something.
I know both your guys' audios dropped out for me for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it catches up though, so I think it's all back to normal now.
Okay, cool.
Right, Dan?
What I was gonna say, I've noticed that some black metal now is kind of becoming meme oriented or like themed off meme shit. Like I just saw a band called Eisenblut. They covered that fucking dance song. Do 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 do. The song that was at the end of Uncut Gems.
I was driving home with some friends from Wisconsin yesterday, and I was playing a Eurodance playlist, and that was on. What is that song? I know exactly the song you're talking about.
It's called Amour Toujours.
Yeah. So there was a band that did like a cover of that?
Yeah, I just saw this. I think it was just uploaded a couple days ago. A band called Eisenblut.
Well, all right. I mean, like, there's, I don't know, and I don't know how
off their album, The Struggle for Existence.
I don't know how tongue-in-cheek it is. I feel like it has to be, but there's like those bands that are like, it's like Minecraft black metal.
I saw
and
one
shit.
that was
Have you
Roblox
seen
Black
those?
Metal.
Yeah. I don't know if it's all the same guy or if these are different people doing like the same thing, but I've seen multiple Minecraft black metal. I've seen a Roblox black metal band. I don't know. It's got to be tongue in cheek. I don't know how I would feel if it's not tongue in cheek. Like if I can accept that.
No, I mean
Yeah,
it
here.
obviously is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here I type Minecraft into themes on MA and they got 6 bands. Miner's Chalice.
Oh no!
Wow.
No.
Minecraft. Oh wait, this says experimental deathcore grindcore Goregrind. What the goddamn hell?
Minecraft?
Yeah. What am I looking at?
Looking at the future, son.
Yeah, man. I think I've uncovered the next big thing for the underground. This is where we're moving now.
You happen to remember what the Roblox black metal band sounded like?
No.
No, not I don't know. I think I out of curiosity listened to a little bit of one of the Minecraft black metal bands. I was like, okay, this is just kind of like Instagram internet black metal. Imagine it was like the sickest shit you ever heard. Yeah, like oh, this is like some like insane like long form riffing like what if it was like the next Axis of Advance sounding band.
I heard the band. It straight up wasn't. It's like the most simplistic stuff you can imagine. But what if it was?
What if it was like some amazing sick thing, and then you look it up on Metal Archives, and it's like Fortnite.
Have you happened to come across any like newer bands that are an amazing sick thing? I feel like it's really hard for me to just find any new bands that are like this amazing sick thing. I feel like a lot of bands nowadays sort of push themselves into that space with their album art and their titles and their like quote unquote dissonant riffing, but a lot of it just doesn't hit. I feel like a lot of that stuff is just a bit boring. I mean, me and Paul have talked about like giving up on new bands. I know the Terminus guy. I know that's their thing, but I know maybe.
I mean, they're moving away from it though. You know,
you're right.
They're not going to be doing as much new music, and I don't think that's necessarily the reason for them. But definitely for me, it's been hard. Like last year, like when I was trying to come up with like thinking of like, oh, what are all the new albums I listened to last year that I liked? And I was like, wow, I did not listen to a ton of new music last year, and so far this year, I can't think of much new stuff that I've like bothered to listen to. It is rough. I think my gut feelings about it all is that there's too many bands that like what you said with like the album art and the image. I think they go into it with this really huge aesthetic conceit, and I think they're neglecting their own musicianship and ability to write songs.
Merch first bands.
And I don't think it's necessarily like they're consciously saying like, yeah, we're just gonna focus on the merch. I think it's just they're so excited to like be a metal band that I think they're too concerned with being a metal band and not playing metal. You know, like there is a little bit of hyper focus on image.
He said the thing.
Like I was just talking to he said hyper.
I said the H word. Yeah, but hey, that's the name. Hey, that's the name of the guy.
That's the guy.
Yeah,
it's like when they say the movie title in the movie.
Yeah. Leonardo pointing at the screen.
Hey.
Freddy got fingered. He fingers him.
Yeah.
But before I interrupted with that joke,
yeah. What's that?
I think you were gonna say something, Dan, before the.
I can't tell if I'm lagging or not. I feel like I'm lagging.
Alright, we're back from Dan's dimensional episode.
I have dimensional
jump.
My brain is fucking deflating.
Oh god, I want to make a joke, but I forgot. What's the Scott Bakula show where he jumps into other people's lives?
Who?
Oh my god, Jesus.
I love that typing sound.
Quantum Leap. You had a little Quantum Leap episode. Do you know Quantum Leap?
I know the name and I remember the meme where he's like, "I'm retarded."
Yeah, it's that. It's like I don't remember if he's what the background of it is, but yeah, he like lives in other people's lives or something. So like every episode, he's like in a different person's body.
Oh, so that's why he's like, "I'm retarded," because he's in a retarded man's life.
Yeah, and he like looks in the mirror and it's like a guy with Down syndrome. Even though, like, it's
so fucking funny.
Yeah. I guess I never thought that maybe that joke wouldn't be as funny if, like, you didn't know what Quantum Leap was. Because I guess I didn't think about it because I knew what Quantum Leap was.
Well, our friend fucking, he made, like, some stupid meme about it, and he's, like, looking at himself in the mirror, and he's like, "I'm regarded?"
I'm regarded?
Like, whenever we talk about him or something, he's like, "I'm regarded."
I'm regarded.
Who, Vince?
Yes.
Vince is regarded.
That's a good one. He's being regarded right now.
Don't encourage him.
Yeah, he'll start up again. He'll start his horse shit in the chat again.
Fuck you, Vince. We hate you.
Oh!
Just kidding, bud.
I don't know you, Vince. I'm not gonna make any judgment on you.
We love you, Vince. You know, this is a message for Vince. I was telling Paul that you've heard this before. We're like, "Oh, Vince is getting annoying in the chat. I've had enough." It's honestly now it's not even annoying. It's almost like a ghost is posting. I'm like not even paying attention.
Yeah, the writing's all on the wall. You're just, keeping your head down, walking past it.
Someone's like speaking in the background, and you know someone's speaking, but it's not registering.
Vince,
someone liked my post.
Vince, you're not regarded anymore.
Make funny.
Disregarded.
Yeah, you're disregarded.
Vince, you're disregarded. Just kidding, Vince. Don't kill yourself.
That'll do it.
No FAP either. Read your books.
No FAP.
All right, we got our Vince.
Love Shannon. Shannon was like, he's like, "Dude, you guys fucking, what did he say?" We're like, "We're going too hard on Vince."
Yeah, that's.
He said something like particular. What the fuck was it?
That's on the BBR bingo card. The bullying Vince.
Oh, bullying! Yeah, the bingo card. Like, yeah, what would be on the bullying? Well, not the bullying card. The bingo card. The bullying card. Self references. That would be on the bingo card. Bullying Vince.
When Paul says that cool thing.
Yeah, when Paul's cool.
Check that one every episode.
Check.
Fred. I don't know.
Fred doesn't say "oh God" anymore. Fred used to say "oh God." He doesn't say it anymore.
You'd be like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
Fred. I think he's gotten so used to this shit that it's no longer
it's no longer worthy.
An "oh God" moment for him. Yeah. He used to go. "Oh,
he's been
God."
Desensitized.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe this month off we'll get some "oh Gods" back.
He needs to be resensitized. He's got to live a normal life to get and then you can get him again.
Detox from the metal. Too much iron in his system.
The metal overdose.
Speaking of which,
Fred must have a metal overdose. He's got so many fucking CDs.
Yeah. I was gonna say, let's go break time and go into the album. I don't think Fred's showing up, actually.
No, Fred, did he message the chat?
He left us on scene.
That was like an hour and a half ago.
You gotta send another message that says, Fred, I know you saw my message. It told me, respond now.
We don't even have room for Fred with this new clean feed anymore.
It's true. It's terrible.
I was looking at that. They're like pricing. That's like steep.
Yeah.
Like 30 something bucks a month just to have more than like 2 extra people. That's screw that.
Yeah. It's like we just need one more person.
No, you're gonna pay for 32 is what
we're gonna have.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. like what the?
It's like can I call clean feed and say, hey, can we just like get one extra?
Can we just get free? One more?
Yeah, we need.
And they'll be like, well, what if you wanted to like host a seminar?
We're not.
It's like, no, we'll never do that. Yeah, we're not. I promise.
We don't have 32 listeners.
I'll say that. I'll say clean feed. I promise. If you give us this one more person for free, we will not have more than that one person ever.
It's true.
Yeah.
I swear.
Clean feed, I know you hear this. That's why. That's why they made the light.
Clean feed does hear this.
Yeah, that's why they made it the light version because we were talking about it like 2 weeks ago. We said, "Hey, this is free," and then all of a sudden,
and they're like, "Oh shit, they're catching on."
It's like, why can't you guys just be Chad's like Winwar and just like, are you ever gonna pay for this trial or nope?
The Reaper Infinite trial. I feel genuinely guilty sometimes when I open up Reaper and I'm like, man, it's only like it's $60 for a perpetual license. Like I probably spent $60 yesterday. Like on just random bullshit. I could buy Reaper and it would be fine, but nah.
They're just gonna be like skeletons at their headquarters, like.
Yeah, it was like I can't feed my family because of this free license.
To be good guys, to be like Linux or something.
To be, just I mean the bar to be better, like a better, nicer, cooler company than Avid, the Pro Tools people, is so low. You don't have to do much to be better than Avid.
I mean, $60 is not even that bad.
No, it's not. It's fantastic. I mean, considering every other fucking program in the world is a subscription now. Like, you can't even get perpetual licenses for things.
Well, I'm lucky with Ableton. I got, like, the student discount, like, so long ago. Like, I think I have, like, Ableton 11 now. But
I mean, I know I pirated Ableton 10 at one point, and I don't think I have it anymore. But it was surprisingly easy to find a cracked Ableton. That's the thing, is like digital audio workstations, it's pretty easy to find cracked copies places too, compared to like Adobe. Like,
you're fucked.
Adobe are the people who are going to send like the FBI after you or something and like tie you up in a basement and torture you.
Yeah, and then they'll chop it up, cut it up on what's it called? Photoshop and Premiere and all that.
And then some Goregrind band will use it as their album cover.
Do you think it's possible to just get to call clean feed?
Get him on the call. Get him on the line.
I'm thinking, well, because somebody fucking works there. It's like, dude, can we have one more guy?
Is there literally no in between?
Yeah, seriously. It's like we need one more person and not 21 more people. You know what I mean? We need one more, not 22.
There is a help button.
They list 2 different emails. So, I mean, you could email them. You can't call them. I don't think we could get them on the call, unfortunately. Clean Feed, would you like to guest star on a podcast on your own platform?
Wait, I just got a notification.
Pricing practices.
I just got a notification. Someone's asking to join. Clean Feed. No, just kidding. If Big Brother.
Clean feed.
Yeah, the Clean Feed is doing us dirty, though. Come on.
Jonathan, our Clean Feed.
Yeah, they are doing us dirty. It's like we were so happy with their services, their free service, and now they have to do
convenient.
This shit. Yeah, it was.
I think it's probably just one of those things where like they started to get a lot of traction, and because it was so
awesome,
like convenient and easy to use, well, just got really popular, and they're like, oh shit, we could be making more money off of this.
I can't even imagine who is using this for 22 fucking people.
Yeah, I think it's like classrooms and bullshit like that.
Yeah. Well, like so when I was trying to figure out like is there any like notoriety they've gotten, I guess they got like a Primetime Emmy recently. What is Primetime Emmy for pioneering audio software, and I guess it was used for various like helping in the creation of soundtracks and like people like collaborating remotely on recording stuff. So I guess
they're just doing like Foley remotely, like using Clean Feed.
I don't know. I mean, maybe like musicians, maybe remotely. I don't know. But
give them a call. Give them a.
Guess they wonder what the hate bus guys use.
It's only 3 guys, right?
4.
Oh, 4. There you go.
Yeah.
Ask Jubby.
I wonder what they use. I'll ask Jubby.
Jub.
But yeah.
We weren't on break that whole time, were we?
Nope. We had to get that good content. We had to get that behind the scenes. Right. But yeah, we'll be right back.
Anti-Clean Feed rhetoric.
All right, we're back from the break. We're all missing Freddy still. And
we miss him.
What can you do?
I miss him, and I don't even know him.
I feel like the intro sample for that new Delirium Shroud song, The Lady Crying in the Rain.
Yeah, me too.
Got some Cool Ranch Doritos. Good to go.
Yeah, and the sample of the bell tolls for Fred.
Joe posted the track on Instagram, and somebody commented. It says, "I don't care for that?" ? Frowny face.
What does that mean?
I went to this person's profile. It's like some 60-year-old lady.
They aren't posting music that I like on Instagram? Why?
Yeah, but the way this is...
But
it's
I don't
not even a
like
statement,
this.
It's a question. It's not a statement, it's a question. I don't care for that? What? Okay.
Maybe it's like she deep down, or like on the surface level, she's like, this is just violent noise, but then deep down she's like, this kind of speaks to me. So she's not sure. She might care for it.
She heard that drum beat you were doing, Paul, just like Joe and me. Like, we looked at each other, we're like, what? Wait a minute, what?
She's like, I don't care for that? And then inside she thinks maybe I do.
Yeah, we awakened something in her.
She awakened in the inner metal lord.
That was an incredible drum beat, dude. It was almost like something a guitar can do. It was like, that's the drum beat.
I mean,
almost like a little like galloping guitar.
What can I say? I
crazy.
Play the drums. No.
What can I say? I'd save the day, I guess. Paul, you could say you saved the day.
No need to be humble.
I saved the day, I guess.
Toot your horn for us.
Yeah, so it was like, the snare and then the kick. I just played it over and over again.
Parts of the drum kit, very good. I just played it I played it like 4 times, man.
This guy knows more parts of the drum than I do.
Get this, I was playing the hi-hat too.
Get this, guys,
wow.
guys. It's like, put your hands out, guys. Get this. I was playing the hi-hat.
Wow.
Incredible stuff. I know.
Yeah, she has a picture of a dog as her profile, so.
And that's someone's grandmother or something.
Let her be.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Everyone bombards in the comment section.
Yeah, fuck you, lady.
You don't fucking get it.
Fucking kill yourself. Oh wait, no, it's Instagram. You can't. They won't let you. Damn.
Oh, you fucking die already.
Why don't you just fucking die already?
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
But what are we here for today? HyperShaman as our guest. We asked you to pick an album, and you gave us 5.
And I was
I like the way you said that, Paul. We asked you to pick a thing, and you gave us 5.
It was like last time I tried to be helpful. No, it was I was like I generally have like an idea of the kind of stuff you guys have brought on here before, but I was like I want to give them options, you know. So I thought of like a handful, a handful of albums that I guess felt like important to me, but maybe not as talked about. And we ended up on the Lord Weird Slough Feg. I think it's Feg. I don't know if it's Fey or Feg. I think it's Slough Feg.
Yeah, I think it's Feg.
Yeah, hey, careful with that vowel there.
Fig?
Yeah. Feg. But specifically, you know, in the less talked about part, not Traveler, the album that, I mean, from my understanding, that's the album everybody knows. Or not everybody, but people in maybe our neck of the woods of metal would be more aware of the album Traveler by them. But I chose Down Among the Deadmen, their 3rd full-length album. Because honestly, this is the one I listened to a lot, followed by the album before. But I guess I when I was younger, I listened and first heard Slough Feg. I did kind of like most people, like just hear about Traveler and like, whoa, this is like the sick album about, you know, the RPG Traveler, and it's this cool like trad metal. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I listened to it a lot. But then I found myself getting much more into their earlier material. Probably more just, like, for sake of the, like, thematics of it, I think is what drew me in quicker. Because, like, I like fantasy stuff more than sci-fi, generally, I think. And I like mythology and stuff. And at this point in time, they kind of were, too. I was talking about... before the show with Paul, how it's like very explicitly influenced. I mean, and this is where the name of the band is from too, by the 2000 AD comic Schlauna, or I mean, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna make a little detour. This is one of those things where, like, are there ever words where, like, you know how they're supposed to be pronounced, but you know most people wouldn't pronounce that way, so you feel kind of like a prick if you pronounce it like correct. So obviously, like, it looks like it's spelled slain, but I know
that
you
see the
like
little,
it would be Schlauna.
Yeah, you see the little indentation of that.
Yeah.
It's like when I just heard a comedy bit about it. They're like, this guy's like, oh, they don't have any German beer here. They just gave me a Stella Artois. And then some lady in the audience, like, corrected him and, like, how he said it. He's like, oh, it's Artois. And he's like, fuck you, you're not French, but he's all, you'll say that, but you won't say Volkswagen like correctly and shit. It's like just so being so picky choosy with the words you say and shit.
Yeah. Well, it's like Taka, or it's technically like the band Taka would be like Tauka or something like that. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I guess for the sake of not sounding like pedantic prick, I'll just say Slain. But okay, back on topic. 2000 AD comics, so like the comics that like Judge Dredd is from and all that. They had Slain is a character. He's kind of this archetypal Celtic hero, kind of like Cuchulainn, kind of like Finn McCool, or all those like cool spear throwing barbarian warrior guys. And the Lord Weird Slough Feg is this like undead necromancer wizard guy that's like a bad guy in the comics. So they're really into that stuff, and it comes through a lot in this album, a lot more than their later stuff, which is more like science fiction themed or like philosophy. So,
yeah. And I think we were saying it also like not just lyrically influenced by it, but when I heard this, it sounded like almost like English like folk music or something as well.
It's very music. It comes through still, I think, in the later albums, but it's definitely like folkier, and I think that's for me. So Slough Feg is, for lack of any other like descriptor, it's basically like US power metal, but it doesn't sound like Jagdpanzer.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Riot, but it's kind of it's basically like Iron Maiden and Thin Lizzy, I think, are the two bands that I come back to as the main reference points for Slough Feg. And because of that, and because of the subject matter, it comes through as like very, very folky and kind of Celtic sounding at times. And I love that. That's like crack to me.
Yeah, it's funny also, the forget his name. I think it's Mike. He was saying,
Mike Scalzi.
Yeah, he was saying in an interview that I watched that he was like getting asked what his influences are, and he's like, we hear like with like traditional doom and stuff like that, most people are influenced by like Black Sabbath. And then he's like, like Black Sabbath wasn't just known for like these doom riffs and shit. They just like had, more upbeat riffs as well. And he's like, I think most of our riffs can be traced back to, Black Sabbath more than Maiden. And it's like such a interesting way to bring that about.
But it's definitely like, regardless, compared to other like US metal, like heavy metal, traditional metal bands, they are like very firmly rooted in like the English side of things.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And during a time too when it was not cool to be a heavy metal band. 'Cause like they started in like the 90s when everything was about black and death metal. And we didn't get to, nowadays where now all of a sudden it's really, really cool to be like a trad metal guy again.
Yeah, also like
they were doing it when it was not cool to be that guy.
Yeah, and I think most of the like heavy metal still going on during that period was bands that were from like the 80s, doing their, third or fourth albums, but like to start then it's like okay.
Yeah, it's a very, very different choice. So like they obviously were really passionate about doing a very specific thing.
Yeah, it's like almost during that time is like when power metal kind of like sprang out of speed metal with like Blind Guardian and shit like that. And it seems like this band is mostly like in between not power metal, but heavy metal and speed metal than anything else.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of any other like bands during this period, especially like the 90s that were like newer that didn't have any sort of past affiliations with like other bands as well during that time. Like I like let's see, like Cranium obviously, but that was like towards the end of the decade when they were coming out with stuff, but not so much now.
They yeah, from what I know, there wasn't really a lot else like them at the time in the 90s, like doing what they were doing. I mean, I'm sure there's like there's like endless fucking metal bands out there. I'm sure there were other bands, but I don't know, these guys are I don't know, I think particularly notable for that.
Yeah, but were any of them good? So
yeah, exactly. We there's always a million fucking metal bands. There's always a million movies. There's always TV shows, but we only remember the good ones. So.
Yeah.
Well, mostly. I remember some bad metal bands because they were bad.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I also saw this one thing. It was like, this drummer is like gonna do a drum solo, and he's like, he's all, most people can't remember the best drum solo they ever seen, but they can remember the worst, and he's just like playing out of time and shit.
Yeah, it has to be bad enough to be like distinct.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't even say just bad. There's a million metal bands out there, and most of them are mediocre and don't have an impact.
Yeah, like right now, I looked up in the advanced search on Metal Archives, and I put heavy metal from 1990 to 2000, and there's 4,000 bands.
Yeah, so it's like, God.
Oh, I'll get through this in the next life, maybe.
Yeah. Well, there's your summer project. I might do that too.
There's probably some gems in there, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There has to be something cool.
Yeah.
That would be
it's
incredibly
like, at
unlikely.
any point in time, you can just do that. Just search up do an advanced search like that, and you'll find some stuff. But you got to put in the time.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah. So and another thing notable, I mean, this isn't unique to this album from their discography. It's just the Slough Feg doing their thing. I mean, I think it's Mike Scalzi that does all of it, but the lyrics I've always thought were particularly cool on this album. I think they're very like matter of fact, cool guy barbarian, like amoralistic in the way of like we're gonna sing about cool stuff happening and like killing and violence, and it's powerful, and that's what it is. There's no point to it. It's just cool.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the same reasons why you read the comics, you don't, get anything else from it besides like the cool art and the story going on at that moment in the panels.
Absolutely. So. It's very I mean, honestly, a lot of these songs are, and I read the Slain comics. I like them a lot. They're really cool, and it is a lot like the comics, where it's just like, here's cool action happening. This dude is warping and killing dudes with his axe, and it looks cool.
Yeah, and this isn't like the first band to be like doing something like that. Like, of course, there's like Sirthungol doing like the
for sure,
Moorcock sort of shit going on, but I think this band and Sirthungol are like the ones that like sort of like stick to that sort of theme throughout it, until their later work where they, have merch about like Descartes and shit.
Yeah, that's so, and I mean that's notable to bring up is I'm pretty sure Mike Scalzi either currently is or at one point was like not like, I don't know if you would call it a professor. I think you have to have a PhD to be a professor. No, I think it's just a teaching as a professor. But he was a philosophy professor at a community college, so a very specific kind of philosophy professor.
Yeah, just a general guy.
Yeah, I teach philosophy down at it's Diablo Valley College is what it says on MA. That's pretty hard. But he goes pretty hard on the philosophy stuff in later albums, and I, like, to be completely honest, I barely listened to their most recent album, and I don't think I liked what I heard.
Yeah.
I thought it was, like, boring.
Yeah, but, I can imagine.
But, like, this stuff, singing about, you know, swords and going on raids and sky chariots and
troll packs.
Yeah, troll packs, gnawing on flesh, chewing on bones.
Right.
Yeah, but fantastic. That's the stuff that gets me going.
Man, I spent my whole college time studying philosophy where this guy could have been my teacher.
Yeah, right. The literal caveman. For listeners, I highly recommend you Google. Go hop on Google or your search engine of choice and search up Mike Scoutsy, and just take a look at that lad and the absolute brow, the absolute protruding brow on this gentleman. Like, my God, I don't know. That's always just, as long as I've known this band, that's always been something particularly like notable and interesting to me, is just how this guy looks.
Yeah, I think he has some credits in like some Geico commercials or something.
Yeah. Like just Neanderthal mode. You know, good for him. Like, maybe it's because I'm jealous. Maybe I wish I had that brow.
Yeah, that's a masculine urge to look like that.
Masculine urge to look like a caveman.
That was the first thing I noticed when I saw this band. I didn't know that was the main guy. I just thought that guy looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I listened to this band, I was like, this guy is like giving off like both hands on the mic type shit, but he's playing guitar and singing these like melodies at the same time, which is like in itself fucking incredible. Cause like,
yeah, he's got a really good like voice. It's got a good quality to it.
Yeah, cause like the bands he looks up to, like, you know, obviously like Dio, Ozzy, and then Bruce Dickinson. Like, these guys are just like singers, no instruments in hand. This guy's doing
they're
both.
like the classic mic in both hands, belting out.
I hate singers with nothing in their hands.
Like, where do you? Is that, like, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think what that even looks like if a singer isn't like holding on to the mic. Like, what are they doing?
They're like dancing or like playing air guitar.
Oh, well, like, what about the guy from Joy Division who was like acting out one of his seizures while he sang?
That's
like his
not
thing.
metal. They can do it. Those people can do whatever they want.
Oh, okay. So specifically in metal, they have to have something in their hands. That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
I wonder, is there because that seems like a distinct difference between like deathcore and, like, you know, death metal and stuff like that. It seems like there's a lot more bands in deathcore that just have like soul vocalists rather than like a guitar vocalist.
Always a sexy front man.
Yeah. It's always the eye candy.
True. Well, I think it's also like
eye candy.
I think it also depends on like how much they're doing with the vocals, because like in brutal death metal you'll see a lot more solo vocalists just because like they're doing
with that
like,
too, because they always look like awesome wiggers.
yeah, and they're either doing double hand or they got it like in like one hand, like a rapper.
Yeah, they got the chains hanging.
If you're in a brutal death metal band as a vocalist and you don't have a guitar, your clothes better be baggy as fuck, dude.
Yeah, your shorts better be pants.
I don't want to see a body under those clothes.
Are those giant shorts or tiny pants?
And then there's the sick fucks like Nikhil, doing it all and vocals at the same time.
Doing it all. God damn. Don't.
The golden boy of Terminus.
Yeah. Our beautiful boy. May he live
My
forever.
beautiful boys!
But, Dan, what does this band mean to you? I know I showed you them a while ago. I don't think you cared.
We are the red men, feathers on our head men, down among the dead men. Pow wow!
Hell yeah.
You did show me this band. You showed me The Traveler. I remember thinking, this is pretty cool. It seems like a band that has riffs. But yeah, you're kind of right. I didn't really give too much of a thought about it.
Tisk.
You showed me this album, but I had come across them in high school at some point. Don't tell me what fucking album, because I don't remember. I think what when I think of this band, I always equate them to like two other particular bands of this era who were doing something similar, like the revitalization of heavy metal in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I told you earlier today, Paul, Gates of Slumber is one that came up in my mind.
No, that's a good reference point. They got the barbarian stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I always equated the two. And then the other one would be Reverend Bazaar.
Hell yeah.
From Finland. I don't know. And Reverend Bazaar, maybe that's a different story, because I feel like so the band Reverend Bazaar is a title, Reverend Bazaar, and this is kind of a title too. The Lord Weird Slough Feg.
I mean, I think the music is pretty different, but I do see
it's different
them as being cut from the same cloth.
They're heavy metal bands, regardless.
For sure,
they're traditional metal bands, regardless.
Then you got someone else cut off from a different cloth, 3 Inches of Blood, but around the same time.
Yeah.
I would put them in the same sort of camp, honestly.
I guess more like power metal than...
Yeah, but I wouldn't really say that, like, because this is basically power metal, this album.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't really call it anything
generally...
else.
I also generally associate these guys, in my mind, like, it's filed away right next to Broca's Helm.
Yeah.
Which I guess I didn't know that their album Black Death was 88, so that's actually not that far removed from when Slough Feg started.
Yeah, and I remember Radical Research was talking about, I think Hammers of Misfortune, which like shares some members from here too.
Yeah,
like
Mike
Scoutsy type shit. Like
Mike Scoutsy was in Hammers of Misfortune for like a few of their like earlier albums, I think.
Yeah, and they're like, I think 95 or something.
Something like that. I think their first album was 2001, but they started in 95 as under a different name. Unholy
like
Cadaver.
Eisentor kind of falls in this too a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh God!
Yeah, Atlantean
don't even
Codex
say
and all
Eisentor. That makes me so sad, man. Are we ever gonna see? Actually, well, I mean, maybe this is too much of a tangent, but I'm actually pretty sure. What's his name? The Solstice guitarist, I think, is still gonna be doing more Eisentor, even though the vocalist had passed away.
Well, I mean, you look at some of these guys, and they all have a very particular look. You look at Gates of Slumber, you look at Richard from Solstice, and they all have this, like, they're metal guys, but they're a bit older, and they all probably ride motorcycles. They have this, like, very particular look to them.
It's like
it's...
Yeah, they take the like, heavy... Oh, what's his name from Manila Road?
Mark Shelton.
Yeah, they all kind of look like Mark Shelton.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like this heavy metal motorcycle guy, like a certain kind of Hesher, and they're taking it and like, yes, this is a serious thing. This is a lifestyle.
But they don't dress like it's the 80s. They dress like it's the now.
No.
But like they're like modern heavy metal biker guys. It's kind of an interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very particular like time period and type of traditional metal that comes around in between, like, let's say 98 to like 2004 or 5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
once again, like a period of time when it was not particularly cool to be any of those things.
Yeah, because it was just...
but even back then, you look at those guys, and they're, like, in their late 30s, like, early 40s.
Oh, yeah. They're not young people.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's just weird,
like,
all the...
We're
like,
in our early 30s.
Yep.
Cool.
Don't get pictures of us. Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Look like Gates of Slumber.
Well, there was a point in my mid-20s where I wore like a bandana.
Sick.
Not gonna lie, yeah.
All right, let's all get bikes and beards.
Yeah.
Bikes, beards.
Drive my van around.
You can see me in the forest at night with my eyes wide open and my leather pulled tight.
Honestly, as I'm getting older, I feel that way. I'm like pulling up in my van, like, I'm tired.
Well, you gotta pull up on your hog with your leather jacket.
Yeah. Bugs in your teeth and all that.
That's the only change you have to make.
Yeah, Christian's already a step ahead of us. He already has the bike. We need a bike.
Yeah, Christian's already fat and glasses, and he's dressed like one of these guys. He's already got it taken care of.
He was heavy metal Christian in high school.
Yeah, he was the eye candy 80s sexy boy. Now he's like fat retard.
I mean, that's what happened to most boomers.
I accept. I wouldn't have it any other way.
No.
But yeah. So you said that you didn't really care for them, but now with having to listen to them again, what would you think?
I didn't say I didn't really care for them. I liked it. I assumed it was good. I just kind of passed it over and didn't give it a serious listening. But yeah, with Down Among the Deadmen, the first track, it kind of had me sort of digging it almost immediately, and then I'm like, oh, they're doing these weird like Viking kind of things, and then it sort of dawned on me, I'm like, these guys are really focused on fucking rhythm, but at the same time, they're extremely good at doing like guitar melodies, and then plus the vocals are like some kind of cavernish, very English sounding songs. So yeah. I thought that was very cool. It's totally different. I can't recall a band that, well, maybe Skyclad sounds a bit like this, in a certain kind of sense. Yeah, I guess I would say the first 9 tracks of this album are all winners, and the last 4 don't really care. But first 9 are great, and that's majority rules. So good album, more good songs than bad. So there you go.
I think. Yeah, like, I like, from the back end of the album, I like Marauder a lot, but, like, Psionic Illuminations and Death Machine are definitely, like, the 2 weakest tracks on the album, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I was, like, driving around on Saturday listening to this album.
Oh, yeah.
And High Season,
it's a good driving album.
Yeah. Once I got to High Season, I was like, not really digging this anymore. Like, I liked it a lot up until track 9, but then it sort of just, like, the first half is just obviously the stronger part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw some people talking about this and saying like it's a modern day classic, and by now it's fucking 25 years old. So, yeah, it's still fucking dope. I would consider it a classic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And to speak more on like the rhythm aspect that you brought up during the interview that I was watching, they were saying that they're like one of the bands that are fortunate enough to like be able to practice together like once a week and like have these songs down to a T for like live performances. Because when you go through their discography and you're like yelling out songs for them to perform at shows that aren't on the set list, they're not going to be able to do that because of how complex they are. They would have to be like practicing this shit in order for them to like be able to perform it. And
it's very like satisfying music because of like, I don't know, you ever well, I'm sure you have, but like when you listen to a song that it's just like they're so locked in and just really like locked in that slot with the rhythm, and it just feels right. it's like scratching an itch. I don't know, that this band just does that for me.
Yeah,
they play so cleanly together, and it's not like so rhythmically complex that, you know, you wouldn't call it like technical or anything, but it's just really good. It's just high quality.
Yeah, and I think when I was watching like live videos of them play, it just gave me that same feeling where I was just like kind of so locked in as they were with each other with their performance.
Yeah,
it was enticing. I think like a week or two ago I was talking about seeing one of my favorite bands like play nowadays, and they're like basically boomers now, and it's like I would love to see these boomers play, like just based off the videos that I seen.
Well, these boomers probably go hard.
Yeah, no, like the video from like 2019, they're playing at St. Vitus, and yeah, it was like just such a great stage presence, like all together. And then like after the second song, they're like, "Oh shit, I think we blew our load. We went too hard on these first two songs. I don't know if we're gonna get through the set," but you know, of course they did. But
yeah, I mean, and the stage presence thing, it's just, I think it all comes down to Mike Scoutsy. I think takes being a, like, quote unquote being a heavy metal guy incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
Like that is his thing. It is like a lifestyle to him. So of course he's gonna be like, you know, being the front man in the live show. I'm sure he puts on a great show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one band I for sure would love to see if they ever play, but it seems like they're in Europe on a tour, or that's where they're going to be this year. So
fucking Europeans.
Yeah, hopefully.
What did they do? What did they do to earn that?
I don't know. Maybe Rudy can go for us.
Yeah, Rudy's gotta go shake Mike Scoutsy's caveman hand for us.
Yeah, I did it with the Old One Gas for all of us, so his turn.
Yep.
But yeah, let's get into a track so we can, you know, be able to hear some songs. Did you guys have any ones in particular? I was gonna pick Warriors Dawn, of course.
Oh yeah. No, Warriors Dawn is sick. I guess I have a particular attachment to the song Fergus MacRook.
Okay.
And it's like, it's such a short and sweet one too, and it wears the most apparent influences on the album like on its sleeve. Like, it's like we're talking about Irish Myth, so this song's gonna sound fucking Irish.
And Dan, are you doing Troll Pack?
Either Troll Pack or Track 9, Traders and Gunboats. So I think we'll have to go to Warriors Dawn first, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We'll be right back.
Redmen, Down Among the Deadmen. Power! We are the Redmen, feathers in our headmen, Down Among the Deadmen. Power! In bitter stars that cast their shine upon the wilderness. Rabbit eyes of shaman flood the moon's descending curse. Leaping in clairvoyance, painted savages are drawn. Locked in dire sacrifice, the dance and dire dawn. We are the red men, feathers in our head men, down with the dead man. Power! We are the red men, feathers in our head men, down with the dead man. Power! I was born to walk in the plains, I was born to run in the hills, I was tough enough to spawn and die. Hard summers and then as you walk through the air in the wilderness, you can hear my battle cry. We were torn from shackles and chains, we were born to run in the hills, we were tough enough to spawn and die. Hard summers and then as you walk through the air in the wilderness, you can hear our battle cry. We are the red men, feathers in our head men, down with the dead man.
Alright, we're back from Warriors Dawn. What do you guys think?
I think I'm tough enough to spawn and die.
Yeah, I was born to run in the hills.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, that's, a very sick title track, about, like, Native Americans out in the plains, taking their white wives and shooting at American cavalrymen and doing cool warrior stuff.
Yeah, I think, like what you mentioned, about this being like the title of like the Slain like first issue and collection, but it has like nothing to do with like the story.
but I think that's part of it, is like making that connection of warrior culture to warrior culture. Cool warriors doing killing and violence things and being powerful.
Just because it's influenced by something, that doesn't mean it has to be like totally about one thing. You can kind of connect these things to other things, and hey, that's what makes it art anyhow,
Yeah.
Why stick to one thing? Fucking interweave these things. It's dark poetry, brother.
It's dark. That's the dark. Mike Scalzi, dark poet.
I gotta get you his dark poet shirt. Have you seen it? It's like a V-neck.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But, yeah, but I know you both you guys were talking about how the song did a lot of things kind of counter to what you would usually expect from this kind of band, this kind of song, with kind of the types of sections it transitioned to and the rhythms used. Like, I know you guys weren't necessarily expecting it to drop into that, like, floor tom,
yeah, those verses,
like tribal thing.
Yeah, I guess that's more on par with, like, the lyrical theme as well. Almost seemed tribal.
Yeah, like you have the beginning is kind of like out in the plains battling. Then you have this sort of back hanging out at the fire, telling stories and dancing and stuff. And then you're back out battling and shit.
Yeah. Fitting we have the shaman for the Indian lyrics episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this guy down with the dead men or what?
Am I? Yeah. Listen, kids. Like, I'm down with the dead men. Pow wow.
But I think, yeah, definitely.
Boom, canceled.
The first section of this song, it was like ramping up, and then just went quiet, and then went into this like slower section. And I believe it was during that first section they were doing the coarse sort of melody in the guitars and shit, and just like foreshadowing that the vocal lines there too. So it's like when you hear it in both instruments, you're like, oh shit, there it is again. So it's like very Black Sabbath-y in there, but in a different sort of way, because Ozzy would directly sing over those riffs versus like having the guitars foreshadow the vocal lines.
Yeah, it's very, very like smart, strong songwriting. It's very, very like they planned this out. It wasn't just not that you don't plan out songwriting, but it's a lot more thought into like the placement and interplay of vocal lines and riffs than you might expect.
Yeah, drumming too, because like during those dun 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 dun, he was doing tom fills with that same syncopation going around the kit, and it was just like, yeah, normally you would just have like a 1-2 beat or something going off during that, or like just a really quick drum fill, but he's like actually syncopating with the guitar riff, which is just more telling of how locked in they are with each other instrumentally.
Yeah, it feels like obviously not musically similar, on at least on any surface level, that it feels a lot like almost like how a jazz combo plays, how they like play with each other's I don't want to say, I almost said how they play with each other's parts. Ooh, that sounds a little suggestive. But there's like that interplay between parts and like referencing each other's melodies in their own like rhythms and melodies. It's very clever in a very satisfying way. It doesn't like not in like a complex song structure tech death wankery way, but like in a sophisticated songwriting sort of way.
Song trucker.
It's I wouldn't say it's necessarily like prog, because in that video interview he was also saying, the interviewer was like, Iron Maiden, and like, oh, do you have like a big prog influence on your music? And he's like, no, I don't really like that shit too much. But he's like, I just like heavy metal, if anything. So it's like
that reads as that definitely seems like him. Yeah, it feels like prog because there's very
I think the bar
songwriting.
I think the bar of songwriting is so low where this just seems like prog.
that too. It just because they're very competent with their instruments and their songwriting goes above the bare minimum. Yeah,
it's not just
that implies it too.
It's not just verse chorus bridge. Yeah. Outro. There.
a lot of it's not like we're listening to Def Leppard.
Yeah. But Dan, what do you think of that song?
Yeah, Dan.
You can mark this down on the bingo card. I'm gonna do the self-referential thing again. You guys are talking about like this being like somebody thinking that this would be influenced by prog rock, and then Mike's like, nah, I don't listen to that shit. Something that like made me think of, I love prog rock. I listen to it relatively often, but I have never been inclined to like bring that into metal writing ever. It sort of, I don't know, it just doesn't even fit for me. And I feel like when bands do that, when they're like, well, we're influenced by King Crimson and whatever, Gentle Giant, and yes, it always falls flat and it doesn't work. If you're a metal band and your influences are like prog rock for real, yeah, dude, you suck.
Well, there's like...
I think a lot of that prog rock, it can be heavy in its own ways. Like, yeah, there's some King Crimson stuff that is, like, heavy, but it feels too, like, flittery or like... When people try to seriously infuse prog rock into metal, it always ends up sounding weak.
It sounds forced.
It's that like weak, forced, a little like hollow, withering.
Yeah, always. A band that comes to mind is that band Howls of Ebb. I don't know if anybody even remembers that.
I'm aware of them.
Yeah.
They were like Cthulhu fucking mythos fucking...
of course they are.
Some kind of wacky death or something. But still, like, I thought they were weak. I thought the later, not Morbus Kron, but the band after that, like Swevin and shit, I think that was like prog rock influence, and that sucked.
Yeah. No, Sweat, that sounds really familiar. Let me take a look right here. Swevin.
It was the continuation of Morbus Kron.
Yes. Yeah, no. No,
yeah, I just feel like that's...
I don't care for this.
Yeah, I don't either. I got a friend who like loves that shit. I'm like, dude, why are you listening to this fucking horse shit?
No, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Julian,
like
by the way.
Yeah.
I can like I'll go and I'll listen to like King Crimson and Yes and stuff. But
I love that
I don't
stuff
want it
on its own.
I don't want it.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want it in my metal. You know.
Paul can tell these drinks are getting to me. I'm starting to like get angry.
Yeah. Me too.
Getting worked up about prog rock in your metal.
No, it's okay. It's real. Like, yeah, prog rock is cool. It makes sense that metal guys like prog rock, but to straight up just fucking like take that and be like, this is our influence. Look, we're the progressive metal band. All those bands fall flat, and it makes sense that this band doesn't do that because they don't fall flat and they're fucking pretty good.
Yeah,
they're probably the only. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just saying, I think they're coming to similar sounds as some, like, English prog rock bands just by virtue of, like, having the same, like, farther back influences of English music, like folk music and
I think that's
some
the
stuff
only
from, like,
that's
jazz
the only
or
thing.
Classical. There's some yeah.
At that point, it's not even... Yeah, it's not a prog rock influence. At that point, it's just a fucking folk element. That's all it is.
They have some similar elements in, like, the weave. They're, like, the genetics of their music, but that doesn't mean that they're related, you know?
Yeah, they're just going further up the lineage.
Yeah.
And probably indirectly, too. It's not like, oh, I can hear these folk melodies in this prog band. Let me go back to see.
Yeah, there's generally, like, the misconception, too, that it's like, oh, just because, like, it's more rhythmically or melodically complicated, or because it's not just verse-chorus structure, oh, it's prog? It's progressive? It's like, no, they just wrote a song, they just did more than the bare minimum of, like, songwriting.
Yeah, because, like, even, you could say, you know, back to Maiden again, they were doing that as well.
Is Maiden prog?
Yeah.
like on it, what's that instrumental song on
Phantom of the Opera.
No, it was
Transylvania.
No, Lost for Words, Big Aura on Power Slave. Like, I don't know, like there's stuff like that it's like does a lot of the things that Slough Feg does that people might think are progressive, but it's like no. They're like no. If someone told me that like early Iron Maiden, not early, but that Iron Maiden was progressive, I'd be like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, I think it's just
like, end your life, bro.
Like, also, people forget that metal is just like intrinsically doing something further than like verse chorus rock shit, you know?
Yeah, it's pursuing.
Metal ain't like a particular thing, you know. It's kind of a continuation of things that have all been done before. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, it's like the bar is just so low nowadays.
Can I say one more thing about this song that I was kind of thinking about? That sort of
absolutely.
Too late.
I know. Sorry. This sort of encapsulates the entire album for the most part. Something that I was thinking about is like, I forget what band we just covered that did something similar. Oh, Sadism. Remember that death metal band Sadism from Chile?
Yeah.
I made a point about them saying like their riffs are so similar that it's hard to imagine like sitting down writing that and playing with a band and like distinguishing each part, because not all the parts are super different. A lot of them are like pretty similar, and I feel like this is kind of in the same camp, almost the way like brutal death metal is in the same camp, where like a lot of the riffs are sort of almost interchangeable, but like they're slightly different, and you know, like it's really technical in that way. Yeah, variations on like one or two or three different ideas. That I feel like that to me is really impressive about this album, that they can kind of focus their energy on like a few ideas and sort of expand on that, like in a way that's still interesting but still very similar. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's not so like contrasting of like, oh, let's bring this part in, bring this part in.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're just working with the same tools and different variations.
Yeah, you can mark it down on your bingo card again. I feel like that's the way Delirium Shroud works with Joe's stuff. It's hard to learn because it's so
similar.
It's like that. It's so similar, but like slightly different each time. But it's still working within the same kind of little, you know, confines.
Yeah, it sounds like a Discord riff.
Sure, in a certain aspect it does. I mean, you even said before, you're like brutal death metal is like actually kind of similar to thrash if you really kind of dissect it guitar wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Brutal death metal is thrash. That's the takeaway.
Definitely Brodequin. But
oh yeah.
Let's get into Fergus Mac Roich?
Yeah, it works well enough.
The 6th song, HyperShaman's pick, and we'll be right back.
Lonely Fergus, they scream from the valley, searching the ranks for a king. Moments of glory, all but forgotten, they wait for tomorrow to bring. Outcast and lonely since Connor was smitten, the tribes of the Sessa element. Chaos abounds in the land of the young as the dark one prepares his descent. Chaos abounding on the breeze, tangled and twisted in the trees. Dark runes painted on
right back. And such a short and sweet song. Perfect.
Yeah, just like a nice, quick punch of power.
Yeah, that was awesome, especially the chorus. During the last line, they remove that triplet fill and go into a more double bass, I guess, bass riff. And it's so good. And it also just highlights the fact for me that this guy's mic is so talented, like to be able to differentiate the riffing that he's doing for the vocals, because it seems like it's in between writing on the riff and singing across the music. It's like in its own sort of like space, doing its own thing, but also really, going with the riffs. It's weird.
He really has to have like his timing down and being able to hit those things independently.
Yeah, and it's not like a death metal band where you could just like not say anything. It's like he has lyrics to say.
He's really got to master that patting your belly and is patting your head while rubbing your tummy or whatever, trying to do two different things with two different hands. But he's doing two different things with two different hands and with his voice, and it's all like it's not always along with the riff. It's not always along with the rhythm. It's like set up as if he was just doing vocals.
Yeah, like whenever I heard this band, I always thought it was just the vocalist, not playing guitar, but it's just impressive to know that as well. And it's funny in that interview too. He's like, I can't do these like high Judas Priest and Iron Maiden screams and stuff. He's all, this is probably as high as my voice will go because his speaking voice is like really low and baritone. He's like, so I'm trying to like hit these notes, but like this is just kind of what comes out, and
he just kind of ends up yelling.
Yeah, and it works perfect for the music. It's almost like a bard like.
It's very bardic.
Yeah.
Well, it's like what Dan was saying. It's like taverny almost, like a dude, like, yeah. Yeah,
you're singing along with him. He has the lead, and it's funny too. He was saying like, when I go into the studio and I'm recording vocals, like I just have this image of like Freddie Mercury in my mind, like to like hit this sort of like high standard of vocal range and stuff like that, but it still just comes out like this, which is perfectly fitting for the music.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't know, would you guys consider this like a beer heavy metal band? Like, you think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm drinking beer right now, and this is my favorite song I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, and you're like,
I fucking love this song.
You're doing the shoulder grab at the show and chugging.
Dude, both of my feet have feeling in them because I was stomping one after the other and playing air guitar.
Yeah,
this song is. I love how like grindcore this song. It's like a quick burst of fucking like.
Yeah.
I don't want to say simple riff, but catchy riff, and God, the fucking lyrics and vocals going along. God, this song fucking rules. I'll just say that.
No, it's got a lot of power delivered in exactly the amount of time it needs to.
Yeah, and it seems like
what this was when you said it, and when it started playing, I was like, "Oh my god, this song's fucking so fucking sick."
Yeah,
I think that this is supposed to be, like you said, played together with Cauldron of Blood, but also I think it's supposed to be played with Heavy Metal Monk too.
It's like all three kind of work together as a little bit of what's the word?
Like a suite, like death metal guy says.
Yeah, that's it. It is supposed to be kind of like a suite.
Yeah, and I think that's just why this first half is like so. Well, I don't think it's like the half. It's like the first 3/4 of this album are so strong.
It's the first nine tracks, 3/4 exactly.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so strong, because these 3 songs in particular intertwine, and then the first 3 are songs on their own as well, but just like being, because I would definitely say Warriors Dawn is like the highlight of this album, at least from a like what you would want to see them perform and shit.
Yeah, it's good because it's kind of, it feels a little bit like a suite of songs in one song. Warriors
Yeah.
Dawn does, because you have kind of three distinct
sections in there. Yeah.
Movements.
Whereas like here they have it all separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very very cool song. Hits right to the point, short and sweet, and
yeah, it's very much kind of like the let's just play the cool part kind of song.
Yeah, there's no fat on here.
Mm-hmm.
I think and man,
that's incredible. Let's just play the cool part. That's the song.
Yeah.
I think just vocally as well, it just has that there's just something else to it, you know, because like there's heavy metal bands that are having like virtuoso vocalists that are like singing really high and all this stuff, but this guy just kind of seems like your bud on the street that just so happens to have a good voice. He's like a busker or something.
Yeah.
There's some charm into it. It's, I don't know if it's like a acquired taste as vocals, because it's definitely something that catches you off guard, but also it's like if you get it, you get it, because it's good. I don't know if you guys feel that way.
No,
I do. The vocals are terrific. Like, yeah, it's so weird. It almost sounds like some amateur, but at the same time, it's like, who else would do anything like this? And could anybody do anything like this? And would they? These are all important questions. Coulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, because I think there's like a lane and formula to go with like heavy metal, but he just totally took the wrong turn for the better.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part of it. It's like, you know, you say like, oh, he ain't like Judas Priest. He ain't like one of these flamboyant heavy metal fuckers like Bruce Dickinson or whatever. But yeah, that ain't the point. He's got his own distinct voice that sort of I feel like fits in with a lot of those other bands I was talking about, like Reverend Bazaar and fucking Gates of Slumber and shit. But
oh yeah,
if it's good, it's good. And this guy is as far as this slightly newer like old guy heavy metal, whatever you want to call it. Julian would call it boomer metal. But yeah, this it's incredible.
Yeah, he's got like
he's fucking awesome.
He's got like a distinctive warble to his voice. Like, it's not just regular vibrato. It's honestly, it's very
like
cool.
Not even remotely bad at all.
No, not at all.
It is just very, very different.
Good vocals, actually.
It almost reminds me of like something. You know what's kind of weird is like mid 2000s there was this little heavy metal boom thing going on, but at the same time, like MTV they were playing music videos from like bands that were doing this like retro throwback 70s thing, like Wolf Mother and fucking Orange Suzuki and shit like that. I feel like it almost, like, these bands are almost in the same realm, maybe just because it's the same time period. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I wouldn't necessarily say, like, any of these are bad, but none of them are, like, as huge as some of the most popular 70s bands would be. But they were huge for their time. Because, I mean, people know this band. I've known them for a long time. Like, the name is out. It's a staple, whether you've heard it or not. It's like kind of a cult classic thing.
Yeah, I feel like
it's hard to forget the name. I think also is a very distinctive name.
I never forgot this name.
Yeah, I think it's like the people I brought it up to, even like Joe today. I was like, oh, maybe you have any opinion on this band? He's like, yeah, I've heard them, but never really listened to them. So it seems like, from what I gather from other people as well, it seems like they know them. Never gave him a chance, and I'm like, what's holding you back? You know?
Yeah. Give Slough Feg a chance.
Song or this album in particular.
No, I mean, it is, I think, the one album most people do end up hearing and listening to is Traveler. Like, that's a good album. I like Traveler, but this album and the one before it, Twilight of the God, or no, not Twilight
Idols.
of the Gods. Twilight of the Idols. It's Nietzsche, not Norse mythology. This goddamn philosophy nerd. Yeah, Twilight of the Idols and this album are like to me peak Slough Feg.
Yeah, it's funny because the bassist and Mike were being interviewed. He's like, "Oh, which albums do you think is like a good point to like go into?" And the bassist was like, "Traveler's probably the most accessible album to go into." And then Mike was like, "I think it would probably be this one, Down Among the Deadmen." And he's like, "Okay, what's your favorite album though?" He's like, "Probably Twilight of the Idols." And it was just funny to hear what they thought of that about their own discography up to that point of saying which is probably the best entry point and what's actually the best album. And he said that this one in particular is their best, but his favorite's the Twilight of the Idols. I think that's what he said. But Traveler's accessible, so that just means like if all these answers are different, their whole discography is good, pretty much. At least the early stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so past Traveler, I don't listen to a lot of that stuff that often. Hardworlder is
I love that one. That one.
Atavism's fine. As we get into like past Hardworlder, I don't really know what goes on over there. It's kind of uncharted territory for me. I listened to their 2019 album New Organon. It wasn't as lively. And that just kind of lost me.
Yeah, apparently that's supposed to be the Traveler Part 2. Lyric-wise.
New Organon?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, but I've only heard before this week Traveler and Hardworlder, and yeah, those are really, really great albums, and I've always, since I've heard this band, liked them, and I want to dig more and more into their stuff, especially after hearing this one. But now we're on to, Traders and Gunboats? Or did you decide between that and Trollpack?
No. What do you guys think? We'll do a vote. Should we do Trollpack or Traders and Gunboats? Because they're both very different. Traders and Gunboats is more like this song, upbeat heavy metal.
Yeah.
Trollpack is more like the rhythmic thing. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, Trollpack's a little funky.
Why not both?
I can go with either.
Porque no los dos?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to do both?
I can do that. Traders and Gunboats, I think, is also like a slightly shorter song.
It's 7 minutes altogether, so we can kind of do a song, do a little spiel, do another song, do a spiel, and then go bye-bye.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into the Trollpack. Be right back.
troglodytes are curious creatures marching through reptilian realms. Smell the stench of human invaders, feast on their limbs, bury their helms. Axes, chop the limbs from the beast. Dragons, bathe in the blood of the beast. Slaughtering this humanoid village, females kneel upon my throne. Retching in my cavernous castle, chewing on flesh, gnawing on bone. Chewing on flesh, gnawing on bone. Chewing on flesh, gnawing on bone.
Alright, we're back from Troll Pack and the bones and flesh.
And the goblins and troglodytes.
Troglodytes are curious creatures.
Marching through reptilian realms.
Yeah,
it's
Yeah, there you go.
it's just it's a fun song. Like who said it was like the ultimate like goblin hopping back and forth kind of riff.
That was Paul.
Yeah.
I said it sounded like a fat guy wrote these riffs.
It that also. Well, because you can imagine like a bunch of trolls like lumbering around causing trouble for various cave going creatures. Just being like gross and menacing, making problems.
It's so strange. I think this whole song was it just like single note riffing and shit? There wasn't like any power chords.
Not really. There was like a breakdown thing at the end, but I think it was still single noted. I think it was like.
I mean, there might have been like
that almost sounded like Tony
power
Soprano.
chords, one like here or there.
Tony Soprano chug, hit that again.
Tony Soprano trying to explain Slough Feg to the other guys. It's like it's this frickin' band from California.
Yes.
Tony, you're not chugging in the house. Why not?
Yeah, Slough Feg predicted all this, you know.
Who did what? The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
But
no, Tone, you don't understand. It's like traditional heavy metal.
Yeah, I want to see the AI Tony Soprano explaining extreme metal rather than Peter Griffin. Let's get that going.
Oh my god, yeah, the fucking Peter Griffin talking about.
I think everyone understands that Tony sounds funny, but they really haven't utilized that enough.
Yeah, like
you can do so much more with the Tony voice. Like, remember I pronounced the name of Pocket of Stasis? A Pocket of Stasis. Like, you can do anything with that.
No, yeah, it's James Gandolfini. It's really, really, really good voice work.
R.I.P.
With like how he pronounced shit. That's fun. But yeah, that's
the real
just
booze is here.
But yeah, Troll Pack. It's there's other parts on the album that are like that song, but there isn't really another song that's all that except Troll Pack, where it's just like
I saw the name Troll Pack.
Riff. Yeah.
Like, I'm like, where's this gonna go? And I'm like at a stoplight, and I'm like listening to these lyrics, and I'm looking around. I'm like, is anybody hearing what I'm listening to? I hope not.
Yeah, this is probably the most English United Kingdom ass track here.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah. Like a little cheeky, a little clever. This would be like J.R. Tolkien would think that this is a clever little track.
Mm-hmm.
There's the rather clever little track with the trolls there.
You know something? There was a band that like made this whole thing their shtick, and they had nothing but riffs like this. Trollfest from Norway. You ever hear those guys?
Is that what Trollfest sounds like?
Yeah.
I've always been aware of them, but I never listened to it because I was like, oh, this is gonna be like stadium folk metal bullshit.
I think later in their career they started doing that where they're like, oh, we're just the party band and we drink beer and that's our thing. We're just partying and Trollfest is a funny name.
Yeah,
but when they first started, they really committed to the bit. They're like, we are trolls. Our songs sound like mischievous trolls, and that's what they sounded like.
Yeah, I'm looking at this band pic and
the chainmail with the gut.
Just the one dude in the back there with the massive gut. Oh, dude. Yeah. Looking at their like first album, Willkommen Folk til Drakafest. With all this troll stuff.
The first two are the troll ones. After that, they kind of went into like party band.
Well, you see their most recent album, Flamingo Overlord.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, they stopped with the troll thing, and they're just like,
well, it looks like
Napalm Records, fucking party, whatever.
It looks like it looks like the snake swallowed its head from the first album. Oh no, not the first album. The the third album, Villenden, to the fucking Flamingo one.
Yeah, it's now that I didn't even notice that it was Napalm Records at first, so that
it is Napalm Records.
That's just what Napalm Records does.
No, but look at the first two are on some other record label. I don't know, Omvina, something like that.
Omvina.
Let's see when they get
on different things.
Napalm.
I think the first two Trollfest records are straight up this troll music. The rest, forget it. Who cares? I'm telling you, first two Trollfest records are actually worth something if you like trolls.
I do partake in a bit of trolls. I'm a bit of a troll fan.
It's called We Do a Bit of Trolling.
But definitely interesting song. Besides Trollfest, you don't really hear stuff like this, I guess.
You don't hear a lot of troll-oriented music.
Maybe Spartby from Russia. Maybe them too.
He just made that one up.
No, I didn't. I swear to God. That's a band.
You
Spartby.
say it's Fartby?
Fart?
No,
with an S.
Spartby.
Spartby.
Meaning Black Village. Oh yeah, that looks like troll music. That looks like troll music.
Yeah, they were trolls too.
We got.
See, in high school, I was all about this. I'm like, I'm a troll. Like, I thought I was really a troll, and then now I'm a troll.
Yeah. Did you ever eat anyone?
Off the
record. I don't know how to answer that question, so I'll just say no.
Okay, fair.
Troll never tells.
Yeah,
a troll will never tell. Mortal.
A troll doesn't gnaw and tell.
Yeah. All right.
Troll doesn't associate with troglodytes.
Speaking of which, if a troll did tell, they'd be traitors, and let's check out the song "Traitors and Gunboats."
Which fun fact in transitioning towards their most popular record, Traveler, Traitors and Gunboats is the name of a supplemental rule book for the RPG Traveler.
Yeah, they went from fantasy to sci-fi.
Yep.
Art thou ready to take thine turn?
I'm ready to listen to the song, so we'll be right back.
centuries, their relationship has varied from fledgling empires to scattered trading packs. At the spinward edge, 120 parsecs from the original center of the Imperium, the margins represent one of the furthest extents of exploration in the Zardalite Consulate and farther extents.
Don't look so grim. I moved to Skia, always on the run. Busted in the sword world with a loaded gas gun. Gas gun. I hear the X-Boats on my trail. Engines always on the run.
Back from traders and gunboats.
On my trail.
Engines always on the run.
Engines always on the run.
Such a good song, especially when they come back with the first verse, and they have like the hi-hat just like. It's just such a good song. It's a more expanded version of the 6 track that you picked earlier, yeah. Hypershaman.
I mean, this whole band is just like very, very cool. Like you can like, you know, stick on your denim jacket, put on a pair of big sunglasses.
Yeah, but I feel like this band eludes a sort of like geezer vibe when you put on like old heavy metal around, you know, like, I guess, like, death metal heads or whatever. They're like, oh, what is this old shit? And you put
That's
this
what
on.
Julian always says every time I put shit on, he goes, boomer metal, and I'm going to fucking wring his neck.
Yeah, and then you, like, put on this. It seems like just a totally revitalized version of that where it doesn't seem so...
it's got the spirit.
Yeah, it's like the spirit lives on and it...
That shit had me dancing around.
No, yeah, the riffs on here are phenomenal. Again, vocal lines, drumming on here is perfect, and you can hear the bass walking around at certain points, but it also sticks to those triplets that are like always so essential to the rhythm here.
Yeah, I wanna show. There's the production on their albums, at least especially like this one in Traveler, is always really, really good, and like it all feels like one piece, but you can really easily parse out all the instruments and parts very easily. And I always appreciate when bass is very like audible and able to be picked out. These albums, let's see. Oh, it looks like the bass player
R.I.P.
did the engineering. Oh, and then alongside another guy, what did he do? Traxworks recording and mastering. Oh, he's done a lot. He's Argus. Oh, It's the same dude that did Black Death and Defender of the Crown for Broca's Helm. Did a bunch for Hammers of Misfortune.
Oh, we're on the same wavelength. He said the thing, and we both went,
Yeah, well.
The tired wavelength.
The tired retards. Drew hit me up. He's like, beers?
No.
Maybe.
I
might finish my pack.
In that interview too, he was saying that this guy who mixed and like engineered their tracks were doing it on a more like analog.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, like analog recording, and then for this newest one, he also did like a digital recording, and they're saying like between the Traveler and this new one, it sounds like pretty much the same exact production on there. Because there's certain points in the discography, I think that they went with like a lower production value to like sort of lean more into the like aesthetics of the tracks and shit. Yeah. It was weird. But I guess also to like that point too of being more true raw shit. But yeah, it's a good point bringing up the production on here. It just reminded me about that, because they seem to be very conscious about like whole package sound here.
Yeah, I mean you gotta think with all their influence and stuff. At the end of the day, they're still like guitar music dudes. They're rockers in a way, and that kind of guy is always super. Not always super, but particular about like recording and audio fidelity and like
tone,
like
and all
you gotta
that, yeah.
you gotta like do it right, gotta have the right tone, gotta like doing analog and versus digital and being aware of all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's a very
I think they're right about that stuff.
Oh
yeah.
How come Joe doesn't get a fucking reel-to-reel? He needs to get some analog shit.
we're barely getting by on Reaper. We're good.
I know.
Yeah. I mean,
if you want, he's like, Paul, come mix.
Hey, so Paul, get on the chair.
If you want to learn how to use like a literal razor blade to cut magnetic tape and like tape and edit it physically, like that's wild. I could never imagine myself doing that.
Nah.
What are you, Anthony? All dismissive.
Nadik. But yeah, let's get into some final thoughts. Let's get HyperShaman tucked in, ready for bed.
Willow and Blanky death metal, brah.
Yeah, I wonder what the dog would think about this.
Ooh,
he'd probably like it.
Yeah. It's like
his vocals are fucking weird, bruh.
Nah,
well,
he'd like this shit. Are you doubting the dog?
He'd make a comment about the vocals, but I think overall he'd like it because it's like classic, like true stuff.
What you guys know about the slow feg, bruh?
All right, next dog question. Slow feg? Question mark.
Slow feg / folk metal? Question mark.
Oh yeah, we gotta get his thoughts on folk metal.
Trollfest.
Trollfest, yeah.
Trollfest.
Your eyes like peeking over too. Trollfest and chill.
I remember seeing a video of Trollfest like recording an album in like 2009, and they like drive out to the middle of the woods to a little cabin at like midnight, and then they get in there and they start drinking Jägermeister, and then they start recording.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't just hike there.
They didn't just stomp on over.
Yeah.
They lurk through the woods to their little cabin.
Yeah, I'm not buying their stick anymore. They drove to record.
They drove.
Well, you think a troll?
If you're a black metal band,
car?
don't tell me you drove. I want to know that you like just live in the woods in some kind of fucking cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more bedroom black metal. Let's get cave black metal.
Yeah, let's get cabin black metal, but you don't drive and you don't like have a job. You just kind of forage.
You like built it yourself.
You're basically a troglodyte, dude.
I mean, isn't that basically what Varg is doing right now?
Yeah, Varg's pretty
Just
cool.
like-
he's doing that.
Yeah, he's like
It's
just
ahead of
like
the game.
living out in the woods.
I miss Thulian perspective on YouTube. Those were the good old days.
Yeah, sitting in his old like Soviet SUV.
For a long time, I remember everyone's like, Varg's a racist. And I'm like, how? What did he ever say? And then I noticed, like, he had those brackets in his fucking, in his, like, YouTube titles. And at the time, I didn't know what that means. And then I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, he probably is racist, but like, I don't know. And?
Yeah, and? That's a great attitude to have. No shit, HyperShaman, that's a great attitude. And?
Like, like, yeah, we know. We're aware.
I accept. I wouldn't have it any other way. Sorry, Paul, I keep referencing that. But it makes sense!
It's alright, it's a good lyric.
Yeah, but I can use it in everyday conversation.
Good lyric, me.
Yeah, nice lyric, you. Me, yeah, that's what when you compliment yourself. Nice drum track, me.
Nice podcast, us.
Yeah. See, HyperShaman, you can use that in your everyday life when you do something good and you let somebody know. You go, hey, nice whatever, nice drawing, me. Compliment yourself. It's slightly funny.
That is funny. But yeah, Lord Weird, Slough Feg. If you haven't listened to them, do that. If you've only heard Traveler, listen to the stuff that came before it also.
Yeah, do what the namesake says. Travel on to the other songs and albums.
Do what they say. Traveler. Traveler, I just met her.
Do what they say. Pow wow.
Pow wow, yeah. Run in the Hills. Spawn and Die.
Danny Boy?
And so on.
Yes, Paulus? General Von Paulus?
Go on.
What? Go what?
Oh, your final thoughts.
Oh. Final thoughts.
Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Oh, I definitely loved it up until track 9, then I didn't care.
Yeah, I think I usually skip Psionic Illuminations. I don't...
Yeah, and then Death Machine with like the motorcycle in the back.
I liked this so much, I'm going to go to Druid's house and play that short song. What was it called?
Fergus McRoy.
Well, it's like a... What is it called again?
Fergus McRoy.
Fergus McRoy. Yeah, I'm going to go over there, I'm going to play that.
Awesome.
Good out. First 9 tracks. Fucking pretty solid shit, dude.
Good album,
That's
actually.
solid shit, dude. Yeah, good album, actually. Those are my final thoughts. It's pretty... Oh, you know what I'll say that I forgot to say a couple minutes ago? I don't... You know how Paul said this band is influenced by Black Sabbath. Okay, well, if that's the case, and I was listening to all these songs, and they're all extremely fucking good, but I don't think that this is a band that you really need to be dissecting their influences. I don't think it matters.
No.
Fuck, you know.
Not particularly.
Fuck it. We said a lot about this band without talking about influences. You know why? It don't matter. But that was a great point, HyperShaman, about the Mark Sheldon thing.
Like the fact that all the dudes kind of got like a Mark Sheldon kind of look, a kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, and even the vocals kind of sound like him, like to a slight degree.
Yeah, like less nasally. I mean, most people are less nasally than him. But that's just how Sheldon. That's just his lifestyle.
Yeah, good take, good album. I assume these guys were listening to Middle of the Road. It would only make sense. But for the most part, you know, I think when it comes to it's sort of a weird thing. I think Fred said before, like when we were covering Heaven's Gate, that he had a lot to say, but he didn't exactly know how to pinpoint any of these influences. And for like trad metal bands, I don't think that it's that important to do that. It's like it's either good or it's not. It's either like
it's either true or
it isn't.
Untrue.
That's true. True that, brother.
All right, my final thoughts. Awesome band. Only heard 2 albums later in their discography. Sorry. Traveler and Hardworlder. And going back further into their start, I wonder how their demos sound now compared to this album and the one before. And this is definitely a band I would love to see live if they keep it going long enough, because that video was in 2019 and now they're like in Europe playing. And yeah, definitely a unique take on I wouldn't even say it's like a new wave of traditional heavy metal, because that would be like Visigoth and White Wizard and this like 2010s revival. It's like doing it during the 90s, you know.
We can just call it a continuation. It's still the same thing.
Yeah, it's just heavy metal. But yeah, awesome band. And my question to Dan is, what do you think Fred would think of this?
Fred said he liked it, but that's all he said.
Yeah, he don't like much heavy metal though.
I don't know that Fred. I think Fred likes heavy metal. It's just not his forte.
Fred.
I think Fred's morely a
extreme guy,
black and death metal guy, extreme metal guy. Yeah, he's not going out of his way to listen to heavy metal like some of us are, like the 3 of us are. But he liked it, and I don't think he would have too much to. Well, who knows? Maybe he would have something to expand upon. We'll ask him next time.
Damn Fred.
Damn it, Fred. Why would you hear?
Oh yeah. Great album. Thanks for picking it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you helped us out in a pinch.
Yeah, and thanks for the support, dude. Much appreciated. I see all your posts and messages and things. It's all there.
Good to know.
And I see you looking at all my stupid stories on my main account too, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure and shit.
Well, you usually you post
sunglasses.
Yeah, usually you post like weird or goofy stuff, so it's good to see.
Righteous.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.
Cancellation, separation, every one of us live alone.